So what do I say about that Germany game that hasn't been said? God. Listen, I think the thing is just the dust has settled. I'm no longer hurting. That Germany, the way they played, the way they set up, surprised everybody. I saw on Twitter beforehand Yogi Love being called a fool and he doesn't know what he's doing. And I was so happy that they took Kimmich, who's their best player, and stick him at right back and go, oh, what are you doing? You're giving the game, yeah. It needed, and not to play on stereotypes, it needed 100% precision in everything for it to work. And by God, did it work. So I just think it was a lineup that just caught everyone by surprise, was so out of left field. Unfortunately, Portugal didn't adapt to it, but I think it would have caught everybody off guard. So, it is what it is. Portugal are the masters of the difficult qualification. We've been here before. We never make light of easy groups, let alone the group of death. I think the thing out of this group is with going into the tournament favorites, you just got to get out. You just got to get out the group. And even if we go through the back door, I'll take it. It's what we did when we won the Euro last time. We went through in third place in a group with Hungary and Iceland were in our group. We went through. So in third place. So it's not unusual for us. Against France, I think the way I stand slightly corrected, but the last third place table that I saw was sitting third, and it's going to take a hell of a swing for us to fall out of the top four. I mean, it's going to take, we'd have to be hammered by France. We can take a loss against France as long as not a hammering. It's going to take massive goal swings. Spain are going to need Morata to score. So I think famous last words, but I think we'll be okay. Like I say, we can afford to lose. Don't want to, because you don't want to go through with two losses. I mean, especially when lining up is Belgium or Netherlands in the next round. There's going to be changes in the side. I think last night you saw what Croatia did. They made 4 changes, looked a completely different side. I think there's not going to be dramatic because the coach, he's very pragmatic, and I will not say a bad word about him, but he is safety first. So I don't think we're going to see crazy, outrageous changes. I think Bruno is going to get dropped, and quite rightly. As a Manchester United fan, I love Bruno, but we've seen him time and time again in really big games when he needs to step up, when the pressure's on. He just doesn't, and I don't know if the occasion gets to him, his temperament gets to him. He's just not quite cracked how to handle that big atmosphere. He's really contributed nothing. He is exhausted. I think something of the players in the tournament, he's the top 3 in the most games played, minutes played last season. So he's exhausted, and it shows. So he'll probably get dropped. Joao Felix is still carrying a bit of a knock, so I don't know if he comes in. I'd like Andre Silva up front. Andre Silva leading the line just works really well with Ronaldo, and let Ronaldo float around behind him, and probably put Bernardo Silva into the role Bruno Fernandes was playing. So he'll have Jota, Andre Silva, and Ronaldo up front. And Renato Sanchez coming in for either Danilo or William Carvalho. Probably William Carvalho, because Danilo just gives you a bit more defensive solidity. He's probably played more games. But I think we're going through the back door. The calculators are out. They're not even out. We're through, I think, unless we get hammered, which is not impossible, but shouldn't be. And then we wait for either Belgium or Holland, who I've got to be honest, if we get through, I'm not scared of either of those. I don't think they're outstanding teams. I don't think they're better than us, to be honest with you. And the tournament's about timing. Everyone says it's about building momentum. I wouldn't like to be in Italy's shoes, if I'm honest. Because Italy don't get better than that. They don't improve. They may stay on the same level. Where Portugal, France, Germany, even Belgium, even England, there's room for improvement. Now we're through. Now we're going to get better. So it is what it is. I'm not as nervous as I would be. France are not an easy team, but you know what? A draw works for both of us. A 1-0 works for both of us. So the Portuguese, we've got a concept of, it's called saudade, which means it's a concept of sadness. It's a concept of melancholy. It's a concept of things are good, but they could be worse, or they're going to get worse. So, when things are looking up for us, we're always just waiting for that bad thing to happen. And that's where I put my hopes.
The MKT Show. The voice you heard leading off the show, the dulcet fine tones of one Paulo Diaz. Paulo taking care of a little bit of business at the moment. He'll be back though, don't you worry about that. Paulo Diaz, Portugal's great hope, the president of Portugueseness in Portugalville. Tough weekend for him. Tough weekend. Man didn't respond to messages which may or may not have been to try and trigger him. Great stuff from the internet. But he's sounding hopeful about Portugal. So today is probably going to be the best day of the whole tournament, just because it's two good games. Germany will win, but Portugal ultimately against France is actually a proper game that means something. Is if Portugal get hammered, they're going home. If France get hammered, Portugal, there's no reason why Portugal couldn't beat France 4-1. Unlikely, yes, but there's a little bit of intensity to the game and it matters, right? Hungary caused a shock. Germany could be going home. Keep in mind, Germany only have 3 points. So, there's all sorts of possibilities, but Portugal, France, ideally, they want to win. Right, and for England, there are real consequences. France comes third. That's who you're playing. Or possibly could be playing. So yeah, it could be a nasty one for all teams. Paulo Diaz saying he's feeling hopeful. The melancholy, the default setting of being Portuguese is melancholy. He said, "You gotta love it." Welcome to it, MKT Show. I am MKT. Great to have you. 23rd of June. In the year of 2021. I went through something extremely pleasurable today, and it's not what you're thinking. And if you were thinking that, get your mind out of the gutter. Is that, it's always the simple things. It's always the simple things. I went to go and collect a card from the bank today. And do you remember those painful days where somebody who hates their job would be sitting there, and you can see they hate the situation and they're taking forever, and then they're going to go and get your card, and, they stroll over there, and the whole process just takes like half an hour. I was in the bank for at most 5 minutes today, and I can change the PIN at home. There's no more. I have to sit there and endure this person who clearly is hating their job, and I don't have to sign a million forms. I had to sign one form, and I was out of there in 5 minutes. So, South Africa has its problems, but I tell you, and I'm being very real, we probably have the best customer-facing banking service in the world. In the world, South Africa's banking service to client is unbelievable. If you live in Germany, if you live in France, you know what I mean. Because for those who don't know, when you live in these bureaucratic nations, it can take you 2 weeks to open a bank account. You have to book an appointment to come and open a bank account in France and Germany. Those are the countries I know about. I'm not sure what it's like in Scandinavia or Australia. But I got to tell you, so my day has just been incredible so far. Absolutely incredible. With me, a man who I'm not sure how his day is going. I've got no clue. I'm not his confidant. We just work together. We keep it professional, and I hope he doesn't forget that. I'll never forget it. A man who has said before he's a coffee influencer in Vietnam. A man who has a taste for maroon sweaters, I've noticed. Don't know if it makes his eyes pop. Maybe his lady likes it. Ladies and gentlemen, the one, the only, James Illingsley. Jimbo, what's happening?
That talks. My mic was muted. Hey, how you doing?
Not bad.
Good.
Not bad.
I just like the color of burgundy or maroon.
Burgundy, okay.
There's a very fine line between them. So I do like, I know on the show I've worn a couple of, and even yesterday I think the pants I wore yesterday were burgundy.
Mm.
And then on Monday I wore a maroon jersey.
And what's the story? Does it set your mind at ease? Does it bring back good memories, or what's going on there?
I don't know. I just really like the color. Like red has always been my favorite color.
Mm-hmm.
But like recently I really like, I'm a changed man.
Sure. And what star sign are you? Because, as a Taurus, I know that red is danger and fire and aggression.
Look, so I'm an Aquarius.
So typical.
But
it's typical burgundy.
Look, Mercury is not in retrograde at the moment, which means I can wear these colors.
Yeah.
It doesn't affect me that much.
Have you made lots of money this month?
No, because Mercury's in retrograde. Or it's not.
Yeah.
I'm not sure where it is.
So once Mercury's in retrograde.
So when Mercury's in retrograde, apparently bad things happen.
For every single star sign?
I don't know. I don't know how it works. But I had a colleague.
That's so Aquarius.
Well, I had a couple of colleagues that told me, that was when I first found out about Mercury being in retrograde. And they believed heavily in it, and I was just like, okay, guys.
Look, fair enough. Some people have Allah, some people have Jesus, some people have the star sign thing. We all need something, right?
Yeah.
Like I don't know. I don't really have that thing. So, maybe we all need our thing. So for some people, the crystals, because ultimately, hey, this life thing,
it's tough.
It's tough. So if you believe that crystals and the crashing waves of the ocean, if it's just something to believe in, like I probably need to soften my position on that whole thing, because I can be I'm extremely dismissive of like religion and those types of things. But maybe I don't like. It'll be a growing process for me to go. Because you're a Sagittarius, you're gonna find the love of your life and get a new job this month. Do you know what? Some people believe a guy 2,000 years ago could walk on water. Or like, why are these people ridiculous? Do you know what I mean? I'm not gonna dismiss any of it. All of it is ridiculous to me. But okay, like I guess to some people it's ridiculous that I think waking up at 4:30 is healthy for you as a person. To some people that's completely outrageous. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like with star signs and with religion in general. Like I'm super chilled. I have my beliefs, but I'm not going to be that person that's like, my beliefs are right and your stars don't tell you who you are. Like if that's what you cling on to for hope at the end of the day,
do your thing.
Then do it. I'm not going to.
You see, it's tough for me because I believe in objective truth. I don't think, like, I'm not big into, you need to hear their side. Like, no. We have standards of, like, those Greek oaks on the Acropolis 3,000 years ago already did the hard work for us. Like, we're pretty clear now, like, on most of the stuff. 90% of the stuff, don't murder, don't kill, don't be a douchebag, basically. Like, those are pretty clear.
I'd be a terrible person.
And there's an objective place, but we do live in a time now where, permissiveness, it's just like anything. Well, I say that. I mean, we still pretty much stick to our tenets, right?
We do live in a very, very strange time, huh? Like, the past couple of days, I've had some interesting conversations about many different topics. Most of them about what we spoke about yesterday on the show.
About the gays not being allowed in Hungary.
Yes. I've had a couple of interesting conversations also about the footballer that came out as openly gay. We're in a weird time, huh? Like, just from these conversations, people have so many different like points of views and angles. And I'm not saying like yours is wrong and mine's right, and
well,
I just mean like
I mean there are like I dismiss the fact that everybody can have their comfort place and they're right. Like, no. Especially on important things like this. No. There's absolutely wrong. There's asinine. We have to be in a position to tell people they are revolting just because someone's gay and they want to burn them. Like, no. That's I don't want to hear it. Like, I don't want to hear it. You are wrong. We have a social standard. This idea that yeah, well, you might have a point. No, I see. That's where you and I differ. Like, no. There's a very clear social understanding. We call it community now. Like, we've dealt with that. We've dealt with that. Like, now we know, because there was a time where, like, let's start off with the gay thing. Is there was an actual time not that long ago while I've been alive, and there are still people, I think, even in my family, who think being gay is contagious.
My goodness.
No, but like serious. Like, I've heard this said in churches, and yeah. Do you know what I mean?
It's bizarre to me.
But we have to dismiss that. Like, we shouldn't go.
For sure.
Like I'm not big into, okay, let me hear what you've actually got to say. No, you're an idiot. I'm happy to tell some people to their faces, like, no, you are an idiot for believing that. I don't. And then people go, yeah, but what about their traditions? Tradition's a terrible reason to justify madness. It's almost like saying, you put people in abusive relationships. Let's use the man-woman dynamic, right? And you go, no, it's in our tradition. The physical abuse is in our tradition. Because people say this, by the way.
Really?
No, people say this. People will say, like, it's a man's right. Once she's... And where will it end up? Often, when people want to justify madness, they'll say things like, no, it's our tradition. They say, oh my God, do you know what has been justified? Like, in the name of tradition. So, no. I am... On human rights, I'm very clear. I think we live in the Western world. Like, I'm not going to be sensitive to people from other worlds. Like, I don't care when in Rome, if you come to the Western world, you will abide by our laws. Just like I'm not going to go to Arabia, right, to the Arabic belt and say gayness is okay there, because I know very well it's not accepted, when in Rome. Now, do I agree with them? Absolutely not. I think it's that they're behaving like Neanderthals, but when in Rome, when I go there, that is the Sharia law in some places, and that is the law of the land. But I live in the West. You come here, I will not tolerate, firstly, from people in the West and people invading, in a sense, culturally here. I will not tolerate that. I'm not up for conversation. I'm not interested in your religion, in your tradition, in what your granny says and what your grandpa says. There are lines now. Like, being gay is a part of our society. We clearly know that it's not a disease. We clearly know that it's not contagious. And ultimately, it doesn't determine whether a person's good or bad.
I find it interesting that there's different sort of reasonings behind the like negative perception that countries and people have on being gay.
Yeah.
Like you say, in Arabia and all of those countries, it's part of their religion and it's Sharia law to be
proven into Christianity, by the way. So it's not just them.
Yeah.
There are also dickheads here who parade their 2,000-year-old book and will tell you. So it's not just them.
Well, yeah. So that's what I was going to say. Like, that dictates the sort of outlook on being gay.
Yeah.
I wonder what it is in other parts of the world. Like, so with the Germany thing and them wanting to light the Allianz Arena in the Pride flag, right? I read this morning it was because of political motives from Hungary.
Mm-hmm.
So it's the sort of Hungarian outlook on the LGBTQ plus community, who are very upset at the moment, by the way. I wonder what their sort of...
Germany's or Hungary?
Why is Hungary... Is it part of their sort of majority religion in Hungary? Or is it... Like, why is gay not accepted in a country like Hungary? And you know what I mean? Like, I find it interesting that there's different sort of reasons or motives behind what's accepted in terms of sexuality.
Listen, your history will determine ultimately what you become. And when you think of that whole belt, I mean, I've lived in Russia. By the way, like Vladimir Putin was very clear at Russia's Olympics, at the Winter Olympics. No gays. That region is still very, very conservative. You know, they rule by an iron rule. And it is a sort of region in its infancy trying to cling to all sorts of things. So, you know, Hungary and Budapest, for all its great things, it is very clear that here we do things the old school, the Bolshevik way. And the Bolshevik way is extremely, extremely conservative. And again, if you are interested, go and listen to Blind History, which you can get on the Cliff Central app or wherever you get your podcasts. And a guy called Grigory Rasputin, very interesting sort of figure. And if you are interested in that sort of region's history, Rasputin, of course, ultimately ushered in the end of what we knew as the last great empire, the Romanovs. And so I think there's a series. There might be a Romanov series. I'd imagine there is. I mean, the Romanov Empire, of course, one of the cruelest. And some Russians have their feelings about the Romanov Empire. Anyway, sort of that ushered in a sort of a grab for power and reshaped the Bolshevik region forevermore. And we know what that gave us.
To answer your question, on Amazon Prime,
Okay.
there's a series called the Romanovs.
Okay, so go and look up that dynasty if you are interested because I'm hugely interested in that region of the world. It's been a big part of my life. I lived there, and some of the best, maybe one of the best years of my life living in Russia. So your history will determine where you are. And extremely conservative, extremely religious, by the way, mostly Catholic in Russia, and Russia largely, as nations break off, we've got to be clear that they are still. The Bolshevik mindset is still very real. I have friends who live in Georgia now, and they've explained to me what the mindset is there. So very, very conservative. Very, very conservative. And, I'm not shocked, like at a Hungary, like people are acting like Hungary, Sweden. It is not, having been there. And I just know that region, Czech Republic, Slovakia, very conservative. Croatia, extremely conservative. And it's across the board, by the way. It's not just about this, black problems, you got to keep your head on a swivel in that region. We know that, in and amongst other things. So it's a very, very interesting mindset and outlook. But ultimately, it is your history. If you want to know how something became something, it is the history. And often, here's the tragedy. And please take this in an academic sense. In order for there to be progress, and my mother worked in a geopolitical space, and I've been very, very fortunate to be around some of the smartest people in and around sort of society and social scientists, and listening to them speak, whether live or content-wise. And the tragedy of mankind, I think, in a personal capacity, and social scientists would put this better, the only way to have proper progress, if you go and look at proper shift, there has to be bloodshed. And it is one of the tragedies of human society, is that maybe for gay, let's just talk about gay rights now. Maybe there's going to have to be a violent uprising. And not maybe, probably. Because if you look at every significant recent historical kind of proper human leap forward, it's been blood-laden. True change. I'm not talking about, okay, let's let the gays get married. Like, that's not real change, Like,
it's a relatively big step.
I don't think so. That shouldn't still be a topic. Like, of course they should get married. Who gives a...
So that's actually what people were saying yesterday. I was having a conversation with a couple of the people in the hub.
Yeah.
Here at the office, and they were saying that it shouldn't have to be like, oh, I'm coming out as gay. Like, you shouldn't have to sit down with your parents and have that conversation and say, Mom, Dad, I'm gay, or I'm lesbian, or I'm trans, or whatever it is. So, yeah.
But again, it's complicated, right? There are no simple solutions for complex problems. Anybody who offers you simple solutions for complex problems is a scam artist. Often they are wearing cloaks and working in the Vatican.
And selling you a fake Rolex.
There are no simple solutions to complicated problems. So, if we think, okay, let's just solve this in 15 minutes, we are kidding ourselves. Let's not kid ourselves, folks. This is going to be complex. And, we got to keep going. But ultimately, interesting stuff. Interesting stuff.
So
is Manuel Neuer getting arrested for wearing a gay pride armband?
No, but the I'm going to tell you off air. Never mind.
Yeah. What's the story?
No, I'm going to tell you off air.
Why? What's the story?
Okay.
Let's hear it, James. People want to hear it now.
So there's a there's a photo that's going around
Mm-hmm.
at the moment of Manuel Neuer, and I don't know who the defender is. I didn't take a proper look.
Yeah.
I was just disgusted by it, and I was trying to translate the captions because I think it was in like Spanish or something.
Okay.
There's-
Super Catholic country, by the way. Spain.
I could be wrong. I'm not blaming it on the Spanish people.
No, but they
I
are
just-
very conservative and Catholic.
So there was a photo going around on the gram of Manuel Neuer wearing the armband
Yeah.
after all of this stuff has come out.
Okay.
During the game against
Whoever, it doesn't matter.
whoever they played,
Yeah.
and there's a German defender standing in front of him,
Uh-huh.
and they're in a sort of
Does it look like they're going to kiss?
they
Or is it like? Does it look like he's going to give him oral pleasure? Is that what it look? Are they in that position?
not oral pleasure,
Yeah.
but a pleasure of a different kind.
On the bum.
Yeah. But
Like
it's
he's gonna-
just the way it was timed, and Neuer was trying to move him out the way because the ball was coming. But
Yes.
it's just the way everything was.
Yeah, but I mean that. Like even then, that like, is it funny? Because again, I think just like we can have that be funny without it being offensive. You know,
But that's the
unless
thing.
it's meant as a. Is it being cruel to like? Oh, this is a bad thing. Like if it's funny, why can't we make just as I find it ridiculous that we can't laugh at white, black, whatever, Jewish, like whatever. To me, again, I'm so in that sense, I've so moved past it. It's like we also can't not part of I think getting human rights, being gay, LGBT is part of it is making because we are all ridiculous. Like all of us are ridiculous.
Very
black,
correct.
white, religious, non-religious, disciplined, not. You know what I mean? All of us are these ridiculous things. Like. By the way, if you are gay and people make jokes about that, and it is funny, and it's not like, oh, this is a terrible thing, like we're gonna laugh at it. Well, what, we can't make gay guy jokes now, or black guy jokes, or white guy jokes, or like where are we?
I think there are a couple of sensitive sort of topics,
Mhm.
especially probably black guy jokes.
Yeah,
Definitely black guy jokes. I think I'm not sure about the LGBTQ community and jokes about that.
yeah,
But I think there's moments for it, and there is a time where you do have to sort of read the room. And that's why I didn't want to bring up the picture, because like we've just had this serious discussion about it,
yeah.
and then like
But
making jokes about
I think humor is a tremendous way to deal with serious problems. I mean, you see some of the best stand-up comedians when they address serious issues.
I was making jokes when I got broken up with twice with
Oh, it's-
two different girls.
I mean, it's not a serious issue. Clearly, all that's happening there is that two girls dumped you. It means you're a terrible boyfriend.
I am a terrible person.
No, well, I wouldn't go that far. I just said boyfriend. But I mean, if you're saying you're a terrible person, good for you for eventually realizing that.
Look, I believe the first step is acceptance.
Absolutely. First step two, just the first step in
Yeah.
anything.
Just the first step to life
Yeah,
is acceptance.
accept it. Okay, you will live and you will die, essentially, is what you
Yes.
say. There is an alpha and there is an omega.
Yeah, and gay, straight, black, white, trans. First step is acceptance.
Ultimately, to all of you, listen, if you want human rights, expect to be made fun of. Like, I don't care who you are. Right? Part of the rights is human beings are just ridiculous. And everyone should be. Are we really all taking ourselves so seriously? Like, none of you are so important. Because when you die, guess what? The world's going to be fine without you. Gay, black, straight, woman, man. Quite frankly, the world doesn't care.
I've always prided myself.
Ha.
Pun intended.
Yeah.
I've always prided myself in not taking life seriously. Like, honestly, just like sometimes there's moments where you do, but in general, there's like huge moments in my life that I've winged. You know, when you wing something.
Sure, in the past, yeah.
Yeah. Like, life's not serious, guys.
Well, life itself is a serious business already. It doesn't need your permission. Like, life is serious business, right? Let's get that very clear. Is that, my God, stop taking yourself so seriously.
Yeah.
Because ultimately, And I know everyone wants to tell you how special everyone is. Quite frankly, if you drop off this third rock from the sun tomorrow, the world is going to keep turning. Right? You got 80 years. Quite frankly, do your best to be decent. Ultimately, right? That's all what we want to get to. And there's 7 billion of us. It's getting trickier and trickier. And, we're in a tricky time. Like, don't be mean to people. Life's hard on its own.
People have their own problems.
And I'm not an empathetic person. For me, I'm all about just get on with it yourself, which is not ideal for this kind of situation. Because again, I'm just like, oh, he's gay. Okay, well, I don't care. Is he going to hurt me? You know what I mean? It's all for me. I always think of, oh, does that make that person a threat? Like, is he part of the Ku Klux Klan now? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
No? Oh, okay. Well, why do I care that he's gay? What like, is it posing a threat to my sort of comfort in this human rights thing we're talking about?
What effect does it have on your life?
Yeah.
Kind of thing, yeah.
He's gay. Oh, okay. She's gay. Oh, she's transgender. I don't care. In a personal capacity. But obviously, society doesn't work like that. It's built on sort of the fabric of the society. Unfortunately, our biases are part of our teaching. So shout out to Manuel Neuer for not getting arrested for having a fabulous armband. You know what I'm saying?
And for being German.
He is ultimate German as well. Like Lego hair, blonde, 6'3". He looks like they made him in a laboratory.
He does look Aryan. Huh?
No. But he is not even Aryan, because Aryan, I think more Scandinavian. They rarely take it. Like Sven takes it to the final level.
Sven.
But doesn't he look like what do you call those security, like world forces or something, when they make a warrior, but they design them to go and like fight the aliens. Do you know what I'm saying?
Looks like he could be Thor's offspring.
Again, Scandinavian.
Yeah, but still, he's got the blonde hair and the blue eyes and.
But doesn't the movies have conditioned us?
Yes.
Is that doesn't he look like some mad German scientist has made him? Like, what are the things we think are German? Okay, 6'3", check. Blue eyes, check. Tank build, yeah, check. Unbelievably athletic.
Really good looking.
Yeah, but like weirdly, almost too good looking.
Yeah.
You know when somebody's so good looking, it goes to a point where it's like it doesn't even feel real anymore.
Good looking to the point of, have you had Botox or any sort of work done on your face?
A soldier of fortune is what I was thinking about. There is, you know what he looks like? He looks like he sleeps in those, in the movies when they're just gonna like freeze a person
Like
and
a cryo chamber.
Hey, I was in a cryo chamber last week, but a real one, like the ones in the Alien movies.
Are they as cold as?
You been in a cryo chamber before?
No, but like I've seen videos where it goes to like negative, whatever it is.
Yeah, you got to wear boots, otherwise it'll freeze your feet.
Well,
yeah, that's not to be played with. Anyway, it looks like Manuel Neuer sleeps in one of those. Like the German scientist at the end of the day comes and just closes it, and it's like got to.
Joachim Low is like, okay, thanks, Manuel. That was a man of the match performance. He's back in the locker room. He's like, just come with us. They flick a switch behind his ear. And he just like shuts down. And then they like fold him into the cryo chamber.
And they charge him out.
Yeah.
Wonder how they clean him. Do you think they just wash him in the cryo chamber? Do you know what I mean? He's not like
no. They've
dirt.
made provisions because COVID has made them realize that there are things such as germs. So they've made provisions that the cryo chamber now actually also cleans him.
I think there's 4 Manuel Neuers.
Do you think so?
Yeah. No. Because while you clean the other 3, obviously, sanitize them, and then as you recharge, you just like who's he playing for tonight? Bayern Munich. Okay, home away. Because obviously you can't have him put on his kit in the dressing room. You have to have him ready. So So what they do is they give the scientists the the fixture schedule.
Yes.
Okay, Bayern Munich away. We're going to be playing in this jersey, so he must be in this jersey. So the 4th one on the line will be ready. Okay, he plays. Now we know for the next 3 fixtures, should things change, home away, blah blah. You just dress him before you put him in the recharge station.
And then you have a backup Neuer. So like, battery dying after a 2-hour game, and he needs to do an interview. Get Neuer number 3.
No, and then that's a separate. The interview Neuer is separate from that.
So he's a completely different.
There's 4 different ones for that as well, dressed in that kit, by the way.
Different sort of tracksuits.
So you're always prepping 2 Manuel Neuers.
Yes.
One for the game, and then the backup one is in the same kit.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then
They just
does
send
the
him
interview.
out.
Yeah.
They just say, no, he's just going to go get water and then he'll come back for the interview. But then you switch. You do the
So-
old bait and switch, you know?
They'll bait and switch. Yeah, these are the things that are happening, dude. A lot of people aren't keeping an eye on evil German scientists. And I think these are the problems, not the fact that people are gay. This is the problem.
Hey,
Who's
man.
keeping an eye on the evil German scientists?
Joachim Low looks like he could be one. So
Old Joachim, hey? He's had a good, 20 years now, hey? It's coming to an end.
he smells his balls often.
That was once. You see, this is the problem with social media. That was once.
You still did it on not just national, international television.
Well, like, maybe he's just so comfortable. Like, okay. Like what guy, and you're lying, I can't speak for ladies, hasn't scratched his balls and then eaten chips straight away? And you're lying if you're saying, I haven't done that on the couch while watching Netflix. You've definitely done it. So, like, it's just that his thing was, it doesn't help when 3 billion people
He was
seen
at
it.
the 2010 World Cup. When it happened.
Yeah, one of the bigger events on earth. Yeah. It's tough when you do it on that stage, I guess.
No, it is a bit of a career limiting move.
Because ultimately, nobody cares if you're slapping the salami, but you can't do it at Woolworths.
Exactly.
Yeah, no, fair enough. Fair enough context. No, I got you. I've got you. I see what you now. You've made me realize where I was wrong there, James.
Yeah, you can't willy nilly do it at Woolworths. Pun intended.
Yeah.
See what I did there?
No, dude, it's a slap in the salami thing. All right. No, good stuff, Jimbo. Otherwise, how you feeling, pal? Big news, everybody. James can taste stuff. We might as well actually address this. So if you're not aware, James actually is in the process of stopping smoking. Been 8-9 days now.
Thursday night last week was my last cigarette.
So 6 days.
6 days.
We're on day 6, and he came in this morning. If you don't smoke, this might be boring for you because you'll already know this because,
Actually, I don't think it will. I think it'll be interesting to see the sort of changes.
Yeah,
you know?
but James said, oh, okay, this is what's... okay, so James, what happened to you last night? I know you had an epiphany.
So I was making dinner, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I was having like hake with mash, and I was doing the things, and I was prepping the fish to put it in the oven.
Yeah.
Right.
Mm.
So I put the seasoning on it, and I was like, I'm gonna take some lemon juice from this ripe-looking lemon in my fridge. Squirted that all over. Put some garlic on it.
Yeah.
Gonna taste fresh to death. Put some pepper on. Put it in the oven.
Got you.
It's cooking, and I'd had this before. Like I had eaten this before multiple times, right?
With similar spicing levels.
Yes.
Gotcha.
So, I've always been a person that likes to sort of overdo it. As a child, used to throw just mayonnaise. Lots and lots of mayonnaise on like lasagna and stuff, right? It's just my thing, okay? And it would be a joke. My mom would say, James, would you like some lasagna?
Wait a
with
minute.
Mayonnaise? And,
Mayonnaise on lasagna.
dude, it's such a vibe.
What is wrong with you?
Vibes. Hey, you can't talk.
In the comments.
You can't talk. You ate mayonnaise out the jar.
No, there's nothing wrong with mayonnaise. Mayonnaise, again, is not the problem here. It's, this is like sweets or sugar. The sugar is not the problem. The sweets aren't the problem. The people are the problem.
Yeah, but mayonnaise by itself is an issue.
Oh, really?
Well, just
Am I the only person who ate mayonnaise out the jar with...
I'm pretty sure.
I'd like to know. No, I'm pretty sure people take mayonnaise out the jar just like they do peanut butter. Like I find peanut butter revolting.
Nah.
Out the jar. Okay, but anyway, so wait, mayonnaise on lasagna?
Yeah, dude.
Okay, you're a monster. But okay, to move on with your story, sorry. You were spicing it over.
Yes.
You've always been one to overdo it, yeah?
So yeah, I've always been one to... I like a lot of sauce on my food, and I like the things, right?
Got you.
So last night doing my thing, and like I said, I'd had this meal before, so I was spicing it the same way I'd had before, right? But when you smoke, if you don't know, when you smoke, smoking damages your taste buds and your sense of smell.
Mm.
Cool. So this was my first time having this fish meal thingy post smoking. So I was like, vibes, let's jump in. It was done after like half an hour in the oven. Opened the oven, smelt it. Smelt incredible.
Mm.
Just everything.
You could actually smell it for the first time in 6... Or how long? How long you been smoking?
5 years.
In 5 years. Incredible. the fifth of your life.
As you open the oven, the smell just hits you in the face.
Yes. There's nothing better than. Sometimes it's good and bad. You know when you make the classic mistake of opening the oven, but you've already got your head down there.
Yeah.
Boom, steam in the face.
Yep.
But when it smells good, it's actually a sweet feeling. But sometimes it's just like hot steam. And
because you wear glasses, it just fogs everything up.
No,
for a good while.
like, you know when it hits you in the face and you have to do that one. Like it moves your head back.
Scared that your hair's going to singe.
I'm not even fearing
Sorry,
that.
that's a white guy thing.
No, I can well, my hair doesn't singe like yours. And I'm short hair guy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Anyway, so fish thing, put it down, and I was like, let's see how this bad boy tastes.
Yeah.
Eat some, and then just a lot happened in my mouth. There was an explosion of like lemon and the spices and the garlic, and there was just a lot going on inside my mouth. And I was like, I need to spice my food in future. Like I need to relearn how to spice food.
So it was too much.
Yeah, because obviously when I was smoking, I'd had to spice more.
Yeah.
Right?
Because you dulled your senses.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But no.
Like, this is incredible to me because your stepdad is a chef. I actually didn't even mention that this morning. Is that, can you imagine, because obviously you live like a peasant, right, compared to him in terms of your cooking.
I do.
And most of us do, quite frankly. He's a chef.
Yes.
Most of us are peasants compared to him. We might as well be eating sort of
pebbles.
Not even, just like mud.
Yes.
Compared to what a chef can deliver, you know?
Correct.
Can you imagine what you're going to go through when you taste his food? Because he's a maestro. We're talking about now somebody who, and we call it gastrology. It's actually it's a field of study, right? A friend of mine's dad, Welsh guy, very, very interesting. He was on a Russell Brand podcast, really, really interesting. He's one of the leading gastrologists in the world. So they often work in the wine tasting world, you know. So these guys, but even within sort of the culinary world, gastronomy is just it's a massive field, right? Taste, touch. We know very well how smell actually affects your mood now. It's a sort of, so can you imagine when you go to your Bali's restaurant and he slaps together like a fresh fish for you, a seared salmon with a little something on the side, a little balsamic or whatever he's dripping on the side there, and he's probably out of, you're gonna have a mental breakdown.
I am. And also, remember I told you he does the whole Christmas thing and he spends literally the whole morning preparing for Christmas lunch / dinner, doing the stuffing, doing the all the trimmings and everything and all the gammon.
Gosh.
Dude, imagine Christmas this year.
So actually, I think we need to quickly wrap up and focus on, Christmas has been a waste on you for the last 5 years. They shouldn't, maybe that's why they moved to the coast.
No, because you could be right.
Yeah, like, okay, we don't mind feeding these other oaks because we can see they're enjoying it and they get it. You have just been, because for you could have been actually eating sand and it would have been no different to his food that he wakes up at 4 a.m. to prepare. You know what I mean? His turkey that's just falls off the bone. You just like, and I want to go play Xbox.
Yeah, I think it tastes good.
No, that's what I'm saying. But he knows that douchebag over there, this is a waste of my time. In fact, we should just order a microwave meal for him. It wouldn't be different. Oh my gosh, I'm so happy for you, James.
It's going to be a vibe, dude.
I'm so happy for you. And I'm looking forward to you seeing what other parts of life being able to smell reveals, you know?
I cannot wait to go down to the Eastern Cape for the first time.
So
just smell.
Let's talk about your personal life, though, quickly. Is that, you've always said, I like to shower, blah, blah, blah.
I do.
So actually for 5 years, you haven't known what you smell like. You got to be honest about that.
Yeah, essentially.
So now that's going to be a whole new world for you, because no matter how you actually smell, that's going to be new for you. You have no idea. It might be terrible. It might be good. Like, you don't know. Maybe, and now it'll make you more sensitive to people because, good or bad, you'll know what your lady's been going through the whole time, and you thought, oh no, I'm fine. But you might have BO. Like, you don't know that, right? How would you know that as a smoker? Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Whole new world, dude. Shout out to you.
Like, they say it damages your sense of smell, but it's incredible, dude. Like, I open the front door, and I can just smell so many different things.
Oh my God,
Like,
James,
it's
you need to do a
insane,
blog.
dude.
Oh my
My
word. Guys, I just gotta,
goodness.
you know what this sounds like, James? Like the girl who just broke up with someone and then she starts the blog and she, she's got the colorful website with flowers and it's just like Nandi's 5 tips to making yourself attractive to yourself again. You sound like that,
Yeah.
I opened the door and I didn't smell the clouds. I smelled possibility. You know what I mean? That's what you were going. It's
I saw, I smelt,
yeah,
and I tasted
yeah.
the endless possibilities of the day ahead.
Like for the first time, I knew, but I truly knew that I was ready.
I thought I knew what love was, but now I know.
Yeah. Oh, do you know what? The most liberating thing in the world is knowing you're lovable. It's not loving another. Like you sound like that, James. You sound like, oh my God, anything's possible once I get my mind right.
And then I've got the sign off of, and on that note, have a good day, babes.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah,
Have a good day, babes.
that's exactly it.
And then it's signed off with a butterfly.
Yes, or like you are enough, and then the O in the enough is a heart. Yeah, you are enough.
No, it's not the O. It's super elaborate and in cursive,
Yeah,
and the G in enough comes down and creates
and
like
it closes
this
a heart around
super big heart, and
Yeah.
then it makes the H.
That's what you sound like. You sound, but you actually meant it, and I love that. We definitely we need to clip that because I stepped out the door, and I thought to myself, today's the first day of the rest of your life.
You know what's funny? I said that after I had my last cigarette. I was like, tomorrow's the first day of the rest of my
Of the
life.
rest of your life. Have a good day, babe.
Have a good one, babes.
That's awesome.
If you want that coffee, you have that
Have
coffee.
it. You deserve it.
But always remember,
Yeah.
green tea is better for you.
And anyway, all the good men are taken. So just be yourself. Focus on your career.
Yeah.
Build yourself. Have a good day, babe. I like that one. Have a good day, babe. All right. We're actually a sports show.
Let's do sports and stuff, huh?
We are a sports show. England, awful last night. Terrible. I'll tell you a little bit about Southgate, and I think he put himself in a position. If you enjoy cricket, I'll tell you my thoughts on cricket. I'm a huge Test cricket fan. It genuinely matters to me. As much as food will now matter to James.
It's true.
Smelling will now matter to James. He'll taste stuff. Big world for James because he might hate potatoes. But potatoes and sour cream have been the same thing inside of that smoke-filled mouth for the last 5 years.
I did hate potatoes.
But you don't know that. There's no way you can, objectively speaking, know that. Because they were mixed. Maybe tar and potatoes aren't a vibe together.
You know what I don't like is tomatoes.
But you don't know that.
But that's what I'm saying. Now I might actually like tomatoes.
Dude, there are so many things. Like I'm trying to think what else becomes possible. For you right now. There are so many things you're about to find out.
I live on the top floor of my apartment block.
Yeah.
I can now walk upstairs without my lungs burning.
Man, shout out to you, dude. Shout out to James. And this is only the beginning. It's the first day of the rest of your life.
Good luck out there, babes.
Have a good day, babes. It's one of my favorite things that's ever happened. All right, should we get into some sport? England last night. Listen, Gareth Southgate has put himself in a position. Listen, in life, don't put people in situations where they're going to fail. It's an integrity thing. It's bad for you. It's bad for them. Do your best not to put people in positions because for real leaders, for like alpha men and women who want to lead and create environments for people to succeed and flourish and be safe, is that self-preservation cannot be your first thought. Self-preservation is the opposite of leadership because you need to take risks. Otherwise, empires don't expand. Otherwise, the lay of the land will stay the same and there is no growth there. You must take risks. In order to grow, there has to be an element of risk. Self-preservation is not a win. Last night was an exercise of the highest order in self-preservation, PR, for Gareth Southgate. Because what happened was what he doesn't realize is he created a problem that he didn't need to. He didn't need to rotate last night. Why did he rotate? Doesn't make sense to me. There's enough breaks. They're playing at home. They can go straight into recovery. They're staying at St. George's. So there are no reasons for anybody to be fatigued. Starting Saka and Grealish yesterday has created the biggest problem Gareth Southgate never thought he'd have. Folks, Saka is clearly better than Sterling and Foden. Now, if you support Man City and you I don't care. But for England, what you saw from Bukayo Saka last night is the one thing everyone's been asking for. Who's going to run and break the lines with the ball at his feet? Saka is clearly better than Sterling. He brought so much more than Foden. It's clear, it's so clear. It is so clear. But what's even more clear is that Grealish is the best of all of them. That was clear last night. He can do it all. He can do the running. He can do the passing. You saw the assist. We saw that last night. Grealish and Saka, right, are the best of those wide options. They are. They just are. You need to accept it. Mason Mount shouldn't be playing out wide. He should probably play in the middle, which means you got to drop one of the defensive mids. But you have to play Mount, right? Mount gives you everything, and he's really. I've always said I actually, in hindsight, wish I was a teacher's pet in school. You need a teacher's pet. It is good for everybody. You can teach the group through the teacher's pet, and Mason Mount is metronomical. You need that. It can't just be all flair. Problem is then, now you got to leave Grealish out. Now what? Folks, the problem with political correctness in life, right? The problem with political correctness is that you actually have to stick to what you're saying. Because once you go politically correct, you go PC, is you divide people, right? And you have to be all in or all out. No matter what you're talking about. Once you go PC and politically correct, like Mr. and Mrs. I don't see color. We're all just people. Like those people. But now you have to stick to it. You can't actually be mean to anyone when you say these pathetic things, right? Is when you go PC, you have to stick to it. Gareth Southgate said, I'm going to pick the people in form. What is Declan Rice doing there? What is Harry Kane still doing in the team? What is Raheem Sterling doing in the team now? If you said everything is about, I don't care what club they're at, I'm going to pick the form people. Well, you saw last night, Grealish and Saka have to start now. Right? You said PC because he's trying to win a political PR game. And folks, if you want to lead, not everybody must lead, by the way. Maybe I'm not made for leadership. But if you want to lead and you want to be popular as well, it's impossible. You must pick one of the two. Either you want to be popular or you want to lead. This is why companies are run better than countries, because CEOs are not trying to be popular. They're trying to lead. And a part of leading is not letting everyone feel and do what they want. It's the complexity of politics, is that you really need to appease, in my country, 60 million individuals' feelings on the price of Doritos. That you got to be popular. You got to try and be popular for that. If you are running Investec, if you are running HSBC, if you are running Fannie Mae, Nike, it is not a popularity sport. It is not. Leadership across the board, actually. Any household who has a father and a mother, perhaps you have a matriarch or a patriarch, you know from around 9 till 21, you almost hate your mother or father, whoever leads the household. Because they're not in a popularity contest there. They're here to lead a household. You're going to school, right? Now, I don't care how you feel. You're going to school, you're going to university, and you will deliver results. And they are demanding on you. Think of your own parents. It could be a granny. They don't care how you feel. They're not in the PC game. They're not in a popularity contest. Gareth Southgate is trying to stay popular and hold the party line. Unfortunately, you know who that's for? That's for team managers. I don't mean the actual football managers. I mean the PR manager, the marketing manager. administrative manager. That's where Gareth Southgate should be, because he's trying to be popular and to lead incredibly talented alpha males to do the impossible, to try and win a Euros or a World Cup. It ain't going to happen. It ain't going to happen because he's trying to keep people happy. England have had this problem. Sven-Goran Eriksson, just drop Gerrard and play Lampard in his proper position. But no, you know what the problem would have been is, what about the public backlash? Who cares? Who cares? Because let me tell you what happened. Didier Deschamps, everyone said Karim Benzema, the best number 9 in France. He said, no, that ain't going to work for what we need here. That stuff off the field, that's not welcome here. Valbuena, you're out as well, by the way. Not only and Valbuena was rocking at that time, you're out as well. Karim, you can go and win 18 Champions Leagues in a row. You're out. Deschamps, not in a popularity contest. Jose Mourinho, not in a popularity contest. Sir Alex Ferguson, Warren Buffett, all these. Oprah is not in a popularity contest. I guarantee you, working for Oprah, if you are not a demanding individual on yourself, must be a nightmare. Because Oprah doesn't care. Honestly, Oprah probably doesn't care whether you're male, female, black, white. She doesn't care. If you're not Gail, Oprah doesn't care. Are you productive? Can you help me win? Is the O magazine still going to be the number 1 subscription next year? Oprah's not in, I want to be popular, nicey, and how's your granny? I don't know Oprah personally, but I can imagine at that level, Oprah's not trying to be popular. She's got enough friends. She's hanging out with Dr. Phil or whoever. I don't know who these Illuminati people hang out with. She's in the business of winning. Oprah didn't get $4 billion by trying to appease everybody. Oprah's not in that business. She's in the business of winning, not nicey, PC nonsense. Now her show looks like that, but boy, oh boy, to be Oprah and to work for Oprah must be, if you are not that way inclined, a nightmare. But alternatively, it's a nightmare to have Gareth Southgate as well. People don't know where they stand, and this is where you get factions, right? Remember the one time England tried to have a strong manager, it was a problem. Fabio Capello said, guys, you need to correct the culture. And he was happy to drop Gerrard and Lampard. I don't know if people remember that. Lampard got dropped for one game. Sven, just pick one. To win, you need clarity. Roberto Mancini is clear. Deschamps is very clear. Roberto Martinez is very, very clear on what they're doing. Last night, Gareth Southgate did not need to rotate. It also, you know what's weird is he's created a vibe now with Grealish, right? That game meant nothing. Why did he take him off? Is he resting him now for the next game? He's put himself in a position. If you are resting him, now you have to play him. And then you're going to have a conversation with Mason Mount. And maybe Raheem Sterling. Jack Grealish isn't going to play in the next game. We've seen what he is. And he didn't need to rotate yesterday because Bukayo Saka has put him in the worst position on planet Earth. England are one-dimensional. It is over. They will face Portugal or France very soon. And that'll be ugly. Here's the worst part of it all. Here is the worst part of it all. The FA have put themselves in the worst situation you could ever wish for. The World Cup's in 18 months. You can't change now. You cannot change now. They should have changed Gareth Southgate really before that last World Cup. Yes, semi-final, whatever. It's clear he's not the guy. And it's almost not on Gareth Southgate. But the FA have a type. Are you going to say yes? Sam Allardyce, not welcome. Okay, fine, he did some of the off-field stuff, not great. But again, he's not a yes man, right? Sam Allardyce wants to do it his own way. The last two, think of it. Allardyce and Fabio Capello. They probably brought their own suggestions. Sam Allardyce is one of the most... He was the first manager in the English Premier League, even before Wenger, who brought in video analysis at that level. I know people dismiss Sam Allardyce as a long ball merchant, but he was data-driven at Bolton, and you remember them finishing 8th with Okocha, Ivan Campo, Kevin Davies in that team. I bet he brought some ideas to the FA, and they thought, why is this guy trying to contribute here, dude? Yes, sir, no, sir, 3 bags full, sir. And Capello now probably started bringing in Italian nutrition, and by the way, here's how we actually need to play football. I'm here to win, not be popular. Gareth Southgate's perfect. Sven was perfect. Sven stayed 4 years too long. What we saw, it was a disaster. Gareth Southgate trying to keep people happy is not the way to lead, folks. England are one-dimensional, and they have trapped themselves. The FA have trapped themselves. They can't sack Southgate now when France beat them 4-0. There's no way they're beating France or Portugal. I mean, Germany would make it 11. It would be a cricket score. But they've trapped themselves. How do you fire Southgate now? There's only 18 months. How do you turn around the whole thing? They've trapped themselves. This is what you get when you try and exercise or get into the game of being popular and making not the right decision. A lot of people, and we all do this, right? In all of our lives, because people are constantly trying to manipulate us. People don't accept this. But your girlfriend, your mom, your dad, your friends, they all are trying to manipulate you to serve whatever purpose you have, you serve in their lives. You may not want to admit it because we're all romantics and they love me. No, people love themselves. All right? Here's the problem. And we're all so bad at this, and I resent myself often for this, is that the popular decision and the right decision are not the same thing. And my old lady always tells me this, because my mom's intolerant of not thinking through big decisions. The popular decision and the right decision are not the same thing. Fabio Capello was the right decision. And often the right decision, if you're overweight, the right decision, stop eating bread. You got to go to the gym 6 times a week. The right decision is often painful because human beings, we all seek comfort. And nobody seeks comfort like the corporate world. Right? The right decision and the popular decision are not always the right decision. Or they're the same thing. Because in university, if you told me you're going to go to university and you're going to stop drinking in university, it's the right thing to do. Because your parents are working extremely hard for you to go and pay $10,000, $15,000 a year just for your course. So the right thing to do is don't drink, budget your money, and be at every lecture. But what's the popular decision? The popular decision is to be hammered 4 days a week. You know that. I know that. Now, one of those is right, one of those is popular. Socrates said not everybody should get to vote, and this is why. Because people, and we're all sort of disposed to being liked. We are. There's a reason why there's only one Elon Musk, one Oprah. There's a real reason for that. And I know Oprah didn't have a head start. There's a reason why there's only one Joe Rogan, one Gareth Cliff, one David Goggins. Well, there's a reason. You got to make the right decisions, not the popular ones. And when you make the right decisions, they are always uncomfortable. The FA doesn't want to be uncomfortable. They want to have Gareth Southgate. They want to have Sven. I'd expect next is going to come Scott Parker. There's a type. You ever had your friends tell you you've got a type? You know, you're always dating. Like, oh, guys, my life's so hard. You go to, I have friends who just can't find a good girlfriend. It's like, yes, you're always dating these crazy, choose whatever adjective you want to use to describe these women that these guys are dating. And you want to come cry to us. I say, you got a type, chief. You got a type. It's not on them, it's on you. It's on the FA. They've got a type. Yes, sir. No, sir. 3 bags full. But that's not how you win. Pep Guardiola isn't the yes or no, sir. Mourinho. Fergie, if you're a United fan. Wenger at the beginning. Arsenal fans know this. Once Wenger became, I'm running the whole club, and now you have to be a yes man, right? Whatever Kroenke says, you have to be on board. At the beginning, when David Dean ran everything, is you had a boss. So he made the right decisions, not the popular decisions, and you weren't the bad guy. Once Wenger became part of the furniture, he's got to make the popular decision, otherwise he's out of a £8 million a year job. And Arsenal had problems. The right decision and the popular decision are not always the same thing. The FA are trapped. They have trapped themselves with Gareth Southgate, and there's no way to fire him now. Because what do? Because after this, we go straight back to the Premier League season. When are you going to play fixtures before the World Cup qualifiers? Even though it is always a cakewalk, but you've got to establish a new culture now. And in international football, you get together every 3 months. The FA are to blame, largely. It's not Gareth Southgate's problem. The FA put him in a position that he wasn't ready for. He wasn't good enough. He isn't good enough across the board to be the manager and have the biggest job ultimately. Ultimately, this is the biggest job in international football. It's top 5 in terms of pressure, in terms of prestige in the world. The person who should be there is Fabio Capello, and he should still be there. He won in the 80s, he won in the 90s, he won in the noughties. He's a winner. It's uncomfortable, though, because he's not going to come in front of the cameras and get philosophical, and you interview him, and you put the 3 Lions badge and good old British sounding Gareth Southgate appeals to the sponsors. Do you want to win, or do you want to be popular? Not the same thing. Jumbo, you said you didn't watch the game. Not sure if you've caught the highlights yet.
No. No, I did want to before the show, but didn't have the opportunity.
England had their last shot. I was listening to the commentary. 26th minute.
What do you mean?
I was listening to commentary
the last shot of the whole game?
In the 86th minute, the commentator said the last shot was in the 26th minute. Not shot on target, England's last shot. I thought, what are you talking about? That means they've gone an hour without a shot. Not shot on target, off target, shot on goal.
Was it because they were being outplayed or just
No.
like kicking the ball around?
No. I mean, for me, the Czechs were already in the next round. Let me just quickly check the numbers on last game.
Are you just going to check
Czech? You know what doesn't get spoken about enough?
the fact that Peter Cech is Czech?
Yes, but Peter Cech is related, and they spelled differently, but he's still Peter Cech, and it is the Czech Republic. Nobody talks about that, about how next level that is.
It has been an issue since I found out that Peter Cech was from the Czech Republic.
Yeah, no. Peter, check that out.
In my life, it's been a problem, and nobody else has ever thought about that.
So England had 57% possession.
Okay.
Czech Republic had 1 shot on target. England had 5 shots in the whole game. From the 26th minute up until the 86th minute, they didn't have a shot at goal. Not shot on target. A shot at goal. Grealish, Sancho, Sterling, Calvert-Lewin, never can. Yeah, these are the options you've got. Saka, who was unbelievable, by the way. Bukayo Saka's a player.
I just want to see the...
From the 26th minute was their last shot. 86th minute, the commentator, I looked at it and I thought, there's no way. You've got to have made a mistake there. The second half was one of the worst things. Grealish didn't see the ball in the second half before he took him off in the 60th minute.
I don't think Grealish has seen the ball the whole tournament.
He was unbelievable in the first half. He got the assist.
Hang on. Is that Thomas Callas?
Yes.
That plays for Czech.
Former Chelsea centre-back, yeah.
He has to be near 100.
No, he started really young and he had a good game. But anyway.
Wow. Sorry, I got sidetracked. I saw the name.
So bad. England are so bad. They're so bad. They are so bad. Henderson came on, not fit.
You know what's troubling about this is actually probably one of the strongest sides that England can play at this entire tournament.
That's their first team. They should be playing Grealish.
Well, Grealish is here. He started, right?
And he played well. No,
But that's what I'm saying. This is probably one of the strongest teams England can't play. England can play. Am I having a stroke? What's happening?
It's smoking, dude. Once you give up smoking, your brain actually just goes. It makes no sense now because what he's telling you is I'm resting Foden, right? But now Bukayo Saka has done more he did more in 25 minutes last night than Foden, Kane, and Sterling put together. In 25 minutes, Bukayo Saka, I'm not an Arsenal fan, was unplayable. Some of the things he was doing, the link up with Grealish, just like dynamic, man. You know, it was just like what Foden can't do. Because what Foden wants is the ball at his feet and he wants runners. Bukayo Saka, give me the ball, get out the way. And by the way, make the run on time.
Yeah, Foden's more of a sort of distribution player.
No, it was exactly what England are missing. And now he's put himself in a position because really he shouldn't be dropping Saka after that performance if he sticks to what he always says of we pick on form, right? So,
and in terms of like heat map, where was most of the game?
In the middle, I would say. I mean, I haven't looked at the heat map, but it was just like the Czechs are going to make it tough. Is they made it physical and ugly. They packed the middle.
As they would, yeah.
but you've got to be clever about it. Like Luke Shaw played really well, but you could see he's told not to go forward too much. Like all of his crosses are from deep. I don't think I saw a single cross from England from the byline. Like, you know, like overlap moves, vibes. There was one from Shaw where Grealish, because what Grealish gives you, and it was so clear for everyone to see last night, and Saka eventually, was you have to double Grealish. You just, there's no one person on this planet that can live with him one-on-one. When you double him, what happens? Luke Shaw on the overlap, and he played a beautiful pass actually yesterday, Grealish to Shaw for the one cross. You know, that's what Grealish gives you. I love Mason Mount, but he doesn't give you that. You know, Sterling doesn't give you that. Sterling's not like a particularly. Sterling is just, I'm running. There's no clever movement. He's got great pace and power, but nothing about it's clever. You can deal with him one-on-one. If you're a strong Soufal can deal with Sterling, and he did one-on-one. You know, he did deal with him ultimately. And Sterling, why Sterling there? Harry Kane was invisible
again.
No, but like invisible.
So can I read you the player ratings?
Let's hear it.
And you tell me
from
what
who?
You think. Sky Sports.
Okay.
Right. So, and it looks like they've only done the starting XI.
Okay.
Sorry, starting 11. Sorry, Gravel. Starting 11. It's
Okay.
not XI, James.
It's okay. You went to after.
Apologize.
Yeah.
Jordan Pickford got an 8.
Played well. Made some great saves. Commanding performance. Great distribution.
Kyle Walker got a 6.
He doesn't offer you enough going forward. What he does give you is the recovery pace. So he played well at the back, and as he'll always do, he gives you the defensive solidarity. But he's not very technically gifted.
No.
He doesn't give you anything going forward other than the pace. But unfortunately, his delivery has never been a strong part of his game.
Stones got a 7.
Yeah, played well.
Harry Maguire got an 8.
Played well. Gave them the option of passing out from the back, and Harry Kane should have scored. Incredible through ball from Maguire, and Harry should have actually squared it to Raheem Sterling. If you watch the World Cup against Croatia, you'll remember Harry just pass it to Sterling. He's standing right there, and you're in the World Cup, and you're gonna.
I did see the meme on Twitter where they said Harry didn't pass or Harry didn't square it to Sterling again or something.
Yeah, no, just Sterling's right there. Just roll it to him, and it's an open goal because the keeper's. Yeah. Anyway, whatever.
Harry Kane's going to be the reason that football never comes home.
I don't know. Some people might say Gareth Southgate.
We did Harry Maguire.
Yep.
Luke Shaw 6.
No, he played well.
Well, someone here in the comments said, well, not of the show, in the comments of the post. Luke Shaw 6 ?
That doesn't make sense. He was the only wide attacking threat, like giving them width. He played well, and his delivery was awesome. Okay, that makes no sense. But anyway, yeah.
Yeah, people are saying most chances created.
It makes no sense. He played, and again, defensively, I mean, he kept Soufal really quiet, and Soufal's a handful, by the way.
Yes.
A real handful. Smart. The crossing on Soufal's unbelievable. So he did his core job, did Luke Shaw, and he broke forward brilliantly.
Someone else said he should be at least an 8.
Yeah, Luke Shaw played so well. He played so well last night. He was the one guy where I thought, wow. Him and Saka, I thought, wow. Grealish, we expected like his performance. And Grealish was actually on a bit of a leash because you can see he's trying to be on his best behavior. So he wasn't actually playing like that Ferrari that he is. He was playing like I don't know, like an electric car, like a Toyota or whatever.
Like a Tesla.
Oh, Teslas are powerful animals. No, he played like a... You know, like everyone, I don't know if you're wealthy enough to have had a first car, like a hatchback, a second-hand hatchback, you know?
I had a Polo.
Yeah, so like that. That's what he played like. He played like a Polo, but we know he's a Ferrari.
Calvin Phillips and Declan Rice both got 5s.
Yeah, both awful. Do nothing again.
Jack Grealish got a 7.
Makes no sense. Should be an 8 at least.
Bukayo Saka got an 8.
Should be a 9. He was the man of the match and playable for the first 25 minutes.
Raheem Sterling got a 7.
Just because he scored the goal.
And take a wild guess what Harry
should be a 5 for Sterling, by the way. He played terribly. Like, I'm not saying he played badly. He played terribly. He's terrible. He doesn't give you anything.
Just horrendous.
No, he was poor. Raheem Sterling is in awful form. He's lost his confidence. And in that position, you can't play in that position if you don't have confidence.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So just because he scored the goal, I guess.
Take a wild guess what Ari got.
Should be a 3. But they gave him a 7.
They gave him a 6.
He's the captain. They want to look after him. But wait, didn't someone get a 5?
Calvin Phillips and Declan Rice.
They weren't worse than Harry Kane. That doesn't make sense. You have to be consistent. I forgot at a stage that he was playing.
You know what the issue here in the England squad is? Right. They're a terrible team, but they're all under this belief that they're like really, really good, right? Because they finished their group top, which is like a mental thing.
Yeah.
Right? You finished top of your group at the Euros. We got this. Football's coming home, blah, blah, blah. But like, even Gareth Southgate, that was not English. Am I having a stroke?
I don't know. So
Is my face drooping on one side?
I'm fine.
Okay.
Yeah, as I'm self-absorbed. So
Gareth Southgate.
yeah.
Um,
Maybe you were being British here. Gareth.
Gareth, yeah.
Yeah.
Got lost in the array. Said that the performance last night was a much-needed boost after Friday. But, I mean, I didn't watch the game. But you didn't have a shot between the 26th minute and the
6th minute.
6th minute.
Yeah, that's an hour of football.
But the performance, you had 5 shots in the whole game. But the performance was a boost after Friday.
Listen, ultimately the draw would be. So he's saying I'm in the results business. Is we drew to Scotland, no good. We won today. That's all he's worried about. He's telling you, but I can't. But again, this is what happens when you get a like a people pleaser. Because I mean, Fergie, you used to see when United used to draw back in the day and they're winning the league by 15 points. You knew what was coming in the press conference. You knew.
That's actually what I was going to say. Fergie would not stand for what's currently going on in England.
No, and Jose, like you see when Jose and those types of guys, when they were, I mean, Jose, Chelsea would draw at his peak. Listen, I was living in London at the time, so I was in the Chelsea thing. You knew, when Chelsea drew, you knew Mourinho's coming out and the players are going to know exactly what he's thinking. And Chelsea were dominating the league by like January in his first season. Like, just stop, Dominate. Like, he comes out, it's very clear, gentlemen, this is not, no. And even if you win and you play badly, Fergie, you remember Fergie's, listen, you can go on YouTube Fergie's press conferences. United would win and players are still going to hear it in public. Like, this is Man United. It's not enough to win. Here we win and we entertain. Famously, attack. You may hear that on your televisions often, right? That's Fergie's thing. I forget what the press conference was, but famously, this is Man United or something like that. Attack. Here we attack. That's why, I'm not sure if you've heard it, but you may, if you're a football fan, you may have heard attack from Man United fans. That's a Fergie line. That's Fergie telling you. So for Gareth Southgate to say that just lets you know where England are. For those who watched it last night, I'm sorry that you'll never get that 90 minutes of your life back. And ultimately half time, so it's 105 minutes.
Also, if you're an England sport, I'm sorry that England's not bringing it home.
It is not coming home. Last night was abysmal. Listen, I don't get but the problem now is if he drops Bukayo Saka now, oh my God, he played so well. If he drops him for Foden, then we know.
Dude, the thing is, okay, and I was going to save this for social media with James, right? This group that England were in was kind of child's play, right?
Croatia are done.
Kind of child's play,
They're
right?
on their last legs.
Do you want to know who England plays in the round of 16 because they finished first?
Portugal, France, or?
So, because Germany, England finished first, right? They play second place Group F. Just to remind you, Group F is the group of death with France, Germany, and Portugal. Do you want to know who's currently sitting in second? And that might change tonight. Germany.
So Germany will beat Hungary tonight and go to 6 points. France are on 4.
4. France are currently first in the group. Germany are currently on 3.
So if France win, England are playing Germany. Yeesh. Auf Wiedersehen.
That's what I'm saying, dude. This is child's play. They think
But you know what the thing about playing if England play Germany is, that's gonna be that's gonna be like 5-1. It's not gonna be like that German team. And I told people from before, even when they lost to France, I said it on the show, that's a proper team. And you saw it against Portugal.
And the pressure behind just the fixture of England versus Germany is insane. 2010 World Cup, it was huge.
They beat them 5-1. Remember that?
Yeah.
England 5. There was that cool song.
Yeah, England for Germany 1.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just the pressure behind Germany versus England is huge, and this England squad is very young. Will they cope with a very physical?
If you're Gareth Southgate, would you rather play Germany or rather play France or Portugal? Listen, we're riding off Portugal. How many points are Portugal on?
Also 3. They tie goal difference and points with Germany.
Oh, so if Portugal win, France are going to finish third.
Yeah.
Because they'll go to 6 points, and Germany are going to win. They'll go to 6 points.
Yeah.
Oh, no. How bad is that for someone?
Well, provided France don't win.
No, that's what I'm saying. If Portugal win, they're going to go to 6 points, right? Germany will stay on France will stay on 4 points, which will be enough to see them through.
Oh, because they're playing each other, aren't they?
Someone's going to have the worst draw ever there.
That's what I'm saying, dude.
No, because no. So the Germany thing's terrible for England.
Yeah.
Germany or Portugal, whoever it may be in second place. I'm saying if Portugal win, France are finishing third, right? Oh my God, someone won a group, and now you got to get France because they're the best third finisher.
Wait, let me see who. Who plays top of Group F?
Well, that's also a raw deal.
That's what I want to see. Fixtures and results.
I mean, it doesn't matter. Whoever it is, they're out, right? But the unlucky person is who plays third place. And oh my gosh, we went and won our group and did what we had to. Oh my goodness. So we got to play France.
This is where it gets interesting, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the fixtures I read to you yesterday. On Sunday the 27th at the Puskás Arena.
Where there'll be no gays.
Yes, where there'll be no gays in Budapest.
Mm-hmm.
The Netherlands are taking on third place in either Group D, E, or F. But it's the same for Belgium. They're taking on third place in either Group A, D, E, or F. So either Belgium or Netherlands.
No, that's what I'm saying. So now for Belgium or Netherlands.
Are you having a stroke too?
Yeah, it's contagious. For those two, oh no, so they've done what they have to do. They won their groups, and now France. Okay. Although also for France, that is not a cakewalk. Netherlands, not good. They're not a good team, so I think they'll get bounced when they meet a good team. But Belgium, that's the game we will want. That's what we want. We want that. Honestly, that's what we want. We want, and there's good friction between sort of historically France, Germany. France, Belgium. That is going to be. That's what we. So we need Portugal to win tonight.
Yes.
For the sake of world football.
Yeah, and just for the sake of excitement.
Portugal need to do the right thing because then we get Belgium, France next. Oh, get out of here.
Well, I mean, look, on the bright side, England are playing their round of 16 game at Wembley, so.
Yeah, they're going to get spanked. So who do they play second in that group?
Second in Group F.
They're out, regardless. They meet Germany. I'm not kidding. That's 5-0. 5-1 maybe.
If Germany can destroy Brazil like 7-2.
Okay, it's a little while ago.
Yeah, but
they just destroyed Portugal. Did you watch the Portugal-Germany game?
Yes.
That should have been 8 or 9.
Mm-hmm. No, but what I'm saying is that Brazil squad that they beat was also a relatively talented squad.
At the Maracanã as well. Like the cathedral of sport.
This is done.
Football doesn't have another place. Like Wembley's just got the reputation and the history, but it's actually not a great atmosphere. Like modern stadiums are actually not great atmospheres because they built actually like amphitheaters to optimize sound instead of so it actually doesn't hold sound really well. Like these modern stadiums that I've been to, like you go to the Allianz Arena, it's actually not a great place. There's no real atmosphere. But if you think of Old Trafford, Stamford Bridge, these old stadiums that are probably made of like what do you call that, asbestos or whatever, because they're so old, you know what I mean? It's just like giving people lung cancer.
Everyone's just got asbestos poisoning.
Yeah. But those are actually great cathedrals. Yeah, and if you're an Arsenal fan and you ever went to Highbury, those old stadiums, I guess it's because I don't know if it's because the designs were terrible, but new stadiums, like if you watch on TV, the Emirates has a terrible atmosphere. I mean, you go to the FNB, right? Here in South Africa.
Vibes.
Not really.
I think it's vibes.
Not really. It doesn't hold sound so nicely. Because trust me, when you go, I've been to Anfield. Like that stadium is, I think the whole side, like the whole of the Anfield side is probably held up by cockroaches. It's so old, you know. Like if they did actually come and clean up the stadium, it would be terrible. Like I think the stand would collapse because it's so old, and all of the rodents in there are actually holding the stands up. But that is unmatched.
You know what stadium is vibes to the max? Ellis Park.
No. I'll tell you what stadium is vibes to the max. Listen, I went to go watch at the La Bombonera. You want to? That's the max. The La Bombonera, the chocolate box, Boca Juniors River Plate is like nothing you have ever experienced in your whole life. Ellis Park has that's like for the curtain raiser. To the absolute max in life, you've never in your life. It's like as I'm thinking about it, I'm just getting. I'm not a goosebumps guy, but just like I'm feeling it. You've never, James. You have never in your life experienced anything like that. I promise you. You've stood next to the loudest speaker in a nightclub, the loudest car you've ever been next to. I don't know, whatever. Do you know when a car's so loud it makes you feel like your heart's gonna stop? I don't know if you've ever had that. Or music so loud, like somebody has such a hectic sound in their car. I don't know if you've ever sat in that.
Yeah.
And
in Durban, yeah.
Yeah, you feel like you're. Shout out to the Durbanites. But you ever felt like your heart's gonna stop?
It felt like my filling was coming loose.
That's
not a joke. I'm dead serious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that it doesn't even measure on that feeling, like being in the La Bombonera.
Damn.
I've been to Ellis Park, All Blacks. I was at the World Cup final, 95. Like all of that stuff. Not even close. La Bombonera is the final. If you have money and you're able to be disciplined and save, and you're a sports fan and you just want to experience the most spiritual thing in sport. And trust me, I've done Milan Derby at the old San Siro when it was proper San Siro. I've done that multiple times. I've done Merseyside Derby. I've done Newcastle Sunderland, Newcastle Middlesbrough at St James's. I've done the Manchester Derby. I've done London Derbies galore. It's not even close. Like Anfield's pretty special. Everton, United, done the Northwest Derby at Anfield. It does not come. Nothing measures. Nothing is El Clasico.
I want to sit on the cup at Anfield one day.
Yeah. No, big vibe, eh? You're a Liverpool fan. That is a big vibe, man.
I want to be part of it.
And the lads get going there. It's some good stuff. But you should save up and go get yourself to an El Clasico. And by the way, I've done the European El Clasico as well at both stadiums. It's not even close. You can't replicate the madness. I think it's the madness mixed with the noise and old stadium again. So the sound just holds. It just feels like it's going nowhere. And it's, man, the best. The best thing you can do as a sports fan is go to the El Clasico in Argentina.
Can COVID leave so we can go back to stadiums and stuff?
Shout out COVID, bro. COVID unbeaten. 18 months, huh?
Didn't you have COVID?
I did. I mean, I don't like to talk about it because it's not about me.
Oh, were people not supposed to know? I'm so sorry.
Here's the thing. A lot of people, again, saying a hero, a warrior, some people are comparing me to Martin Luther King and Nelson Mandela and Rosa Parks and and I say, no, guys, I'm just a great man who gets out of bed one foot at a time, just like you, I think Mandela, that's a bit far. I mean, I am a great man, a survivor.
Sure.
I hate that you say I had COVID. How you need to address me from now on is actually everyone should address me as, ladies and gentlemen, introducing COVID survivor Mbulelo Kayaletutinda. You know what I mean? Like, don't say, oh, didn't you survive COVID? COVID survivor MKT. You know what I'm saying? It's the right way to do it.
I can't believe I have to deal with this on a daily basis.
No, but listen, the sort of power starts in the language, James. And if you're not going to get the language right, we'll never get there. So
also, this is one of the most incredible jobs in the entire world. So, it has its...
What, for you or for me?
For me.
What? Oh, for you. I was going to say, what's the upside for me working with you?
I'm really, really funny. Sometimes.
No.
I have a nice smile.
No. Well, why is that an upside for me?
You get to look at my
I'm not
face.
attracted to you. Why? Why?
I know what it is.
Looking at your face. Why is that an upside for me?
I know what it is.
Let's hear it.
You don't have to worry about setting up a show.
I could do that on an app. You know, why is it? Give me an upside. Like, what do you give me that nothing else, nobody else? You know, like your lady. The upside is so big that you want to keep seeing her. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
There's clearly something about her, whatever it may be, that for you the upside is so big. It's like, oh my God, I have to keep seeing this person. What's the upside for me besides the contract you signed that you need to get paid and do some things here? Give me an upside. What am I getting out of this?
A show that is produced at very high quality.
Oh my goodness.
A show that's produced by someone who invests his time, his energy.
But that you're just describing anyone now, right?
No, but you see,
You put your soul into it.
Yes.
What's the upside for me? Because you're still getting upside there. It's experience, kind of like learning, figuring stuff out. What am I getting? Like, okay, fair enough. All of that stuff may be true from a functional side, but you don't say to your girlfriend, "Do you know what I love about you? You're always on time." Right? You don't say that. Like, that's ridiculous. You probably say something like, "Hey, you know what I love about you? You make me feel safe. You know what I love about you? You're really considerate." There's like a spiritual upside. Do you know what I'm saying? You don't say, "Do you know what I like about you?" I don't know. We don't need to say what your lady's name is. But you know what I like about you, Wendy? Let's say her name's Wendy. Is really how, when you clean the counters, you really get to the corners. I like your efficiency and proficiency when you clean with the detergent on the kitchen counter. You don't say that. Right? You say, "You know what I love about you is how you get along with my family." Like, you know what I mean? What's the upside for me, James? And these are the questions, you know? And because you haven't had COVID and you aren't a COVID survivor, you wouldn't know this. And then, you know.
Yeah, I thought I was
Valued.
valued.
Well, could be replaced by an app tomorrow. So keep your head on a swivel, pal. Or give me an upside. Like, moving forward, you should think to yourself, how can I serve this guy's spiritual needs?
I know someone's going to save me in the comments. Like, Rickus will come in the comments, or Andrew, or like someone's going to come in the comments and help me out here. I'm just kind of biding my time.
Sure.
Please help me. I'm just confidently, but I know people are going to help me. Just help me. It's going to be great.
On an upside for me, huh?
Yeah, and I didn't have to beg for it. Please help me.
No, shout out.
It's just going to come through in the comments
Shout out
any second.
Shout out to you and the people, dude.
Me and the peeps, huh?
Yeah, shout out to me getting an upside.
Exactly. You'll get an upside, and it's going to come through any second now. I don't have to beg the listeners. They'll do it.
You know what? Let's take a break. Maybe in that break, you can kind of think about just creating an upside for me, you know, that isn't switching stuff on. Because really, I could just get Elon Musk to program a robot to do that.
Guess you could say I'm really... Nope, my mom listens to this show, so I'm not going to make that joke. So we should do an intermission and stuff.
Yeah, but James, you've shown now that you actually don't care about your mom. Yesterday, I forget how the slander that you sort of directed towards her. Did she listen to the show yesterday? Did you speak to her?
No, we had the conversation. Remember, I told you that she knows you like to put words in her mouth.
No, well, did she listen to the show yesterday, though? Do you know? I don't know if you had a chance to speak to him. Not yet.
We didn't speak about the show, no.
Oh, so you did speak to her?
Yeah.
Okay. And the fact that you think she's undeserving of her life. And there was something else yesterday that you were slanderous. And I was listening to the show yesterday. What was it? Can you remember? I think you called her something.
No, because you were putting words in my mouth.
Okay, what happened? What did you say? Remember? Anyway, I can't remember. But anyway, so...
We'll think about it in intermission.
Yeah, it's weird that you're being mean to your mom on a public platform.
See, Andrew Harrison came back with a comment.
About what?
You just said, "I'm just fascinated that James is dating Wendy from the WhatsApp group."
Oh, that's so good. Listen, if you're still with us on YouTube, please click like or dislike, by the way. Be honest. Be honest. If you hate this show and you think to yourself, "Oh my goodness, I cannot wait till this show's over." Firstly, weird. You have the choice not to be watching this. But if you are, some people hate watch. Right? Some people hate watch. So if you just hate watching this show, just click dislike. As long as you engage with it, you know. If you do want the podcast a little bit later after sort of you done with the workday and you're on your way, you're driving in the car, you might have a spicy little date tonight with somebody. get you in a good mood, listen to James and his upside in life that he thinks he's bringing towards me. You want to do that maybe on the way to the date, and you got a little special, I don't know, maybe your anniversary. I hope you've got something like that on your way to your spicy little date to get you in a good mood. You can listen to the MKT, or a bad mood. Maybe you want to break up with your boyfriend tonight. You want to get in a bad mood, maybe pop this show on the way there, really rev it up so that you don't change your mind. James, you ever met anybody who's wanted to change their mind in a breakup?
Yes.
Oh, wow. Like on the way to the breakup? Did they phone you? How did that go?
I don't know how to answer this question.
Okay, so it was you, clearly. From
No,
the way
it
you were
wasn't.
you don't have to say their names. Let's talk about this, James.
I don't want to.
Get us both on camera, because this is an interesting subject. Everybody has breakups. So is this a friend of yours? Okay, let's do generic. So we don't need to talk about who the people are. What happened? Because this could be anybody, right?
So there was a lady, let's call her Wendy.
So, okay, is the lady going out with you?
No, we're making it super generic.
Okay, so there's a lady and there's a guy.
Yes.
And, okay, but now here's an important detail,
right,
which you do have to reveal. Do you know the lady in question?
Yes.
Is she speaking to you about, I'm breaking up with blah, blah, blah tonight?
Kind of.
Okay, that's all right. So you're aware that she has intentions to break up with so-and-so?
Yes.
Okay, so now Melanie is on her way to break up with the guy.
Yes.
And changes her mind.
Yes.
On the way?
Yeah. Like, I don't think I can do this kind of thing.
But is she like in her car or like in an Uber on the way?
Yes, she is in a mode of transport on her way.
In your car?
No.
No. Jeez, imagine that.
Sure.
Please don't tell me it's an aeroplane. She wasn't breaking up with someone like overseas.
No.
What's the mode of transport? You can tell us this.
Well,
is it a car?
It is a car, but I'm trying to keep it as generic as possible.
Why? Because somebody might find out. I mean, you don't tell us what the car is. Why is that a secret?
She was in a car on the way to the person.
Is she driving?
No.
How do you know that? See, that's important. Are you in the car?
No.
So how do you know whose car she's in?
So
Did you tell her to break up with the person?
No.
But why is this a secret? I don't know. Why is this awkward?
Because I'm trying to keep it as generic as possible.
Okay, but you don't tell us what car it is. Why is it a big thing? Who or what?
Okay, I'm going to tell you.
Yeah.
All generics, and then you'll have your questions.
Okay.
We'll answer the questions.
Cool. All right, go for it. Go for it.
Or whatever it is.
Tell us the story.
Okay, so there's a girl. Let's call her Petunia.
Yeah.
Petunia wants to break up with Bobo.
Yeah, because it's interracial. You have to be interracial now. It's 2021.
Mm-hmm.
Go woke or go broke, right?
Exactly.
Okay.
So Petunia wants to break up with Bobo.
Mm-hmm.
And it was going to happen on a weekend, and Petunia lived in Joburg, but she lived in Joburg like part-time.
Okay.
And then her family stays in
an area far away.
Yes.
Okay.
So
like a drive distance or flying distance?
Drive
okay.
distance.
Yeah.
So she was leaving Joburg to go to the home area.
Wow.
Where Bobo lives.
Do their families know each other?
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh my gracious. And she changed her mind. Did she turn around?
Multiple times, actually.
Did she turn around in the car?
No, she just went to her parents' house.
Instead of going to his house? After telling him we need to talk?
Yeah.
Are you getting blow-by-blow details as this is unfolding? Like her meltdown is a part of your life, like as it's going. I can't do this. I can't. Oh my gosh. Maybe I'm wrong. Or like I can imagine.
Yes, and I don't have a horse in this race. So
what are you saying? What was your advice to her?
That's why I just said I don't have a horse in this race. So I was just like, I had nothing to gain from this. So I was like, you got to do what you want to do. Surely there was a reason you wanted to break up with this person in the first place.
And she changed her mind. Are they still together now?
No.
So did she break up with him after that day?
Eventually she did.
Holy smokes.
Yeah.
All right. Again, maybe she should have been listening to the MKT show, because that would have revved her up, got her angry, and she would have been able to execute, you know? She pulled us at Gareth Southgate. Bit of a soft move there. If you're going to break up with somebody, get the MKT show on, pop it on, listen to James and how he can't stand the sight of his own mother being happy, and that'll definitely ensure that you can break up with your girlfriend or boyfriend. All right, the MKT show. You can listen to that on cliffcentral.com, the Cliff Central app, or wherever you get your podcast. This is indeed the MKT show. So you can look for that podcast wherever you get your podcast. If you're on Apple Podcasts, please make sure you give us a rating. You can just say anything. You can say anything. You could even say, hey, I think James was having an affair with that lady in his story. Say that. You know, it doesn't need to be true. It does not need to be true what you say. All right, we'll finish off with we'll finish off with James. We'll social media with James in a little bit. But for now, we're going to take a little break, and we'll be back in a little bit. The MKT show. See you then. Welcome back to the MKT show. Feels good. Took a break, refreshed. James didn't smoke. I mean, it's a whole new world. All right, let's get straight into it. It is social media with James. James. I'm starting to think James was having an affair with that woman in a car, but anyway, that's a whole different thing. All right, Jumbo, what you got for us, pal?
Lots.
Let's get into it.
I'm very cold all of a sudden.
That's because you're getting the shivers from that affair you were having with that lady who you were telling to break up with that guy.
It's incorrect, but let's jump into this.
Sure.
I decided Olympics today.
Good. It's a good thing. Old sport. 1896, I believe, the first ones in Athenia.
It does start in exactly a month from now, July 23rd.
Nice.
And runs until October, I think.
Nice.
So, to start off, before we jump into the news elements of the Olympics, there's some fun facts that you may or may not have known about the Tokyo 2020 Olympics.
Just these Olympics or Olympics in general?
Just these Olympics.
Cool, let's hear it.
Cool. So, did you know that this is Tokyo's third time hosting the Summer Olympics?
Yes.
That's cool. The first time was in 1940. But due to the war between Japan and China, they were moved to Helsinki before being cancelled due to World War II.
Yeah, people want to see you, James.
I know, but the battery's dying.
It's okay.
Second time was in 1964, and the third will be in 2020. one because 2020. Anyway, Tokyo's 4th time. That does not make sense. Cool.
I don't know what's happening.
We're going to move on from that one then. The mascots. The final choice of the mascots was left to the hand of millions of Japanese students,
Cool.
which is really cool.
Yeah, that's very cool.
Symbols. There's a heritage zone, which includes sites used during the 1964 Summer Games. Heritage Zone and Tokyo Bay Area from 2 intersecting circles symbolize infinity. The athletes' village will be built at this intersection.
Cool.
Is it me or is not a lot of this making sense?
No, I get that.
Okay, cool. Sick. Convinced I'm about to have a stroke. Tokyo City itself. Robots are expected to welcome the guests at Tokyo Airport. Tokyo has more than 5,000 sushi bars to welcome Olympic visitors. 882 rail stations, within which 282 subway stations will easily transfer guests to venues.
And they've got those electric trains and
The bullet trains.
bullet trains,
Yeah.
and the what's it called? Is the magnets? Forget what that one's called. They've got that high-speed train.
Yeah.
Just with the robots thing, how great is it? Robot malfunctions and it's just ripping people's arms off. There's like 4 of them. You know, what if the robots just decide, hey guys, we've done the data because AI is just hectic. You know, we've done the data. It's bad that you're here. You obviously aren't going to listen to people saying, like Karens in WhatsApp groups. So we're going to rip your arms off because that's the language you understand. Imagine the robots just take over and like, no, this is not happening. Not in the land of the rising sun. We got to do everything to protect our history because the West is trying to do Hiroshima Part 2. Not again. Imagine the robots can recognize, imagine the robots have PTSD.
It just takes out all the Americans.
There are white faces. Just like only the white guys. Like, hey, we remember you in 1950. That didn't go well.
Oh, wow. Hey, Chad Leclerc, you were there in 1950. We want your arm and your leg.
You know who's not going to be there is the douchebag who lied about getting robbed. Remember him, the swimmer? What's his name? It'll come to me now. The American guy.
He lied about being robbed.
Yeah. Lochte. Ryan Lochte.
Yeah.
Man. Yeah, so you won't be there. Didn't make it.
Lol.
Yeah, so robots ripping people's arms off could happen. And honestly speaking, you can't blame. Well, you can't blame the. All right. You can't blame the robots because they were programmed, right? Is to learn, right? And they're protecting the land of the rising sun. So
There you go.
So keep an eye out for that if you're not a sports fan.
While the first modern Olympic Games started with 9 sports, 33 will be held in Tokyo 2020. In total, there'll be 339 events across 33 sports. Tokyo will host 5 new sports.
I hate this, by the way. So, skateboarding's in, isn't it?
I'm very excited for this.
I hate that. It's not an Olympic sport.
I'm quite excited. Baseball, softball, karate. Well, it says baseball / softball.
Yeah.
Karate, skateboarding, sport climbing, and surfing.
I hate that climbing, skateboarding, and surfing are in because the Olympics, some stuff should stay elite. Like, for me, I quite like the thought that some people can't get into Oxford. Because most people are jerk-offs. Like, we must maintain standards. Like, skateboarding shouldn't be next to the marathon. Like, it shouldn't be the same thing.
Yeah, but what makes one sport more superior to the other? Like, just because you can run 28 kilometers and I can do 48 ollies and a backflip on my skateboard, still an athlete.
No, because for me, you must maintain the purity of some things need standards. It's like the Oxford thing is everyone's going to fight lower the marks or whatever, right? Is there is no way you're going to tell me skateboarding versus running a marathon in 2 hours are the same feat. More people could do a 720 than can run a 2 hour, 5 minute marathon. So then it loses this idea that being inclusive is good. It's not always. I love the idea that not everybody's welcome. Like the Olympics have way too many sports now, like way too many. And skateboarding, like surfing, why is that in there? Like less than 0.5% of the world can access surfing.
I think you need to stop being grumpy old man.
Why is that grumpy? So am I grumpy for saying not everyone should get into Oxford?
Because everything about the Olympics is about inclusivity.
No,
Yes.
no, you're wrong. The tenet of it was they are special. It's actually no. It's the complete opposite of. I've seen.
What's with the logo?
What's that? The 5 rings.
Yeah.
Yeah. The unity thing. But let me just tell you what the original thing was. It was actually what the Greeks were saying, and you can go and look at this. Is that society needs to have something to aspire to, right? And only the special ones are the wrestlers. So if you look at some of the original sport, I think it was wrestling. I don't think the marathon was in the original Olympics. But anyway, no, the central tenet was they are special. Society needs a higher standard to aspire to. That was the original Olympics. Like, it is mental that surfing's in. It is like, are they awesome sports? Yes.
Yeah, but these are still sports where you have to be... Dude, surfing... I've never surfed in my life.
Yeah.
But you probably have to have mad core strength and technique and skill to surf, dude.
Yeah.
You have to sit in the ocean for probably a good while, which takes energy.
Yeah.
How fit you probably have to be an Olympic surfer.
No, I've got nothing wrong with surfing, and I know those guys are tanks. I know some of the big wave surfers. I've done some work with them.
So then why shouldn't they be allowed at the Olympics?
Because
you can run 28 kilometers without stopping, and they can surf and sit in the water for an entire day and not pass out.
You know, it actually goes counter what you think you're saying. Is skateboarding and surfing are actually really elitist sports. It's why I had a problem with like golf being in there. Is not very few people in the world can afford to ever get good at skateboarding because it costs, I'll talk South African standards, it costs 5,000 Rand to have a decent skateboard setup. I used to work with Boogaloos.
Exactly. So why shouldn't you be allowed to represent your country and
No, because it's elitist. If you're saying, so it goes counter to what you were saying. You're saying, no, include everyone. I'm saying skateboarding excludes most people. So don't have it there. Running, anyone can run. You're from Kenya. Hey, the poorest guys in the world, you're the best. Keep those sports in.
No, but I'm thinking from an athlete point of view because, like, to me, it seems like you're less of an athlete because you're a skateboarder than you are if you can run 27 kilometers.
No, and I'm saying yes, absolutely. You cannot tell me you're going to compare Eliud Kipchoge to Tony Hawk. Like, Tony Hawk does not even come close. He doesn't even register in the same universe as somebody who can run 2 hours. Because I'm more likely to find another Tony Hawk than I am another Eliud Kipchoge. That's how you objectively do it, is what's objectively harder to replicate, right?
Skateboarding.
How many...
Anybody can run, dude. Whether you can run 27 kilometers is a different story.
No. Whether you can do it in 2 hours. I can find more people... people are now doing 1080s like Tony Hawk could do everywhere.
But people are running from the age of 10, dude.
Nobody's doing 2 hours, though. Nobody's doing Eliud Kipchoge numbers. That's the elite, right? Nobody... You're not going to find another Eliud Kipchoge again. There's plenty of Tony Hawks running around. It's much harder to replicate a 2 hour 05 marathon than a 1080 on a skateboard, whether you like it or not. I'm just telling you what it is.
Let's agree to disagree.
Sure.
We got the rest of the show to do.
Let's move on.
We used the whole period of social media with James just for that argument. It'll be the greenest gold medals ever.
Okay.
About 5,000 medals will be made out of recycled old cell phones.
That's awesome.
Interesting.
That's awesome.
They also, the Olympic body released the rules for these Olympics over the last sort of 24 hours or so. They've come out.
Okay.
A little bit of backlash, a little bit of support. It's kind of in the middle. Some of these rules are kind of weird. Others are kind of on point. And it's obviously all taken in context. So people around the world are looking now at the moment at these Euros and how spectators are allowed in stadiums. And
No
for
masks.
that French game or the Hungarian game,
Hungary,
it was sold out or whatever it was.
And Denmark.
Yeah. No masks. People can cheer.
Yeah.
There's no social distancing.
No, living their best lives. Yeah.
Yeah. So people are looking at it from that kind of context. I think a lot of people are. And that's why there's been a bit of backlash.
To say what?
These Olympics. So the rules, they when they mentioned the rules, they did mention the Euros.
Yeah, but what are the rules? Are you just telling you like?
Spectators will need to clear several antivirus requirements, including temperature checks and mask wearing, just to get into the venues.
Okay.
With no refunds available for those who can't.
Fair enough.
Once inside, they are forbidden from cheering or making direct contact with other spectators and will be asked to go straight home after events end. Asking athletes for autographs or expressing verbal support, that's in quotation marks, is also a no-no, as is waving a towel or any form of cheering that could create a crowd. They've gone on to say that the festive mood will have to be suppressed.
Yep.
And that'll be a major challenge. They say, and I quote, people can feel joy in their hearts, but they can't be loud, and they have to avoid crowds.
Listen, the only people who are offended by these will be the Western world, right? Here we allow people to do whatever they want when they want. There's a huge misconception. Now, there are definitely people who know more about Japanese history than I do, but I'm hugely fascinated by them, and I've been reading books about the Japanese since I was about 13. Never been to Japan, but let me tell you a mistake people make about the Japanese, right? Is everybody keeps saying, and I've spoken to philosophers and actual thinkers about this.
Yeah.
People always think Japanese culture is built on honor. You're wrong. It's never. Nowhere is honor mentioned as a central tenet in because everyone watches Tom Cruise movies, right, and thinks, oh, it's about honor. No, the society is actually built on shame.
Oof.
Yeah, so shame is actually at the center of the society, and what you must do at all times is keep an eye on your shameful actions, right? Do not aspire to the honor thing. We expect that. It's the shame. The shame is what must be at the center of our society, and we keep an eye on it all the time. And I guess what they're saying, and listen, it is a nation of control. Ultimately, it is a nation built on solidarity of the many over the individual. It's how they built Panasonic. It's how they built Toyota. It's how they... Listen, 1950, Japan was rubble. By 1980, they had Panasonic. Like, we do things and we don't care how you feel. It is about the end goal. It is about long-term thinking. So this is a part of the fabric of their society, is that the individual is not important. And the West, of course, out here, we all want to be, what about me? Where's my space? You know, I'm a single male and I'm being erased. You know, every Tom, Dick, and Sally wants to be heard, not in Japan. So, listen, if you don't like the rules, don't go. I also hate that about that, like in the West. If you don't like the rules, don't go. Stay at home. Like, who are you from America and South Africa and Australia that thinks you're so important? They're like, don't go. You're not welcome in Japan then. Fine. You know, are you not going to... Do you hate how... And listen, by Western standards, that is oppressive, right? Do you not like it? Stay at home. Like, who are these people that are so entitled? And I can imagine Twitter's going wild.
Also,
don't go.
If you stay at home and don't go,
Yeah.
less of a chance of your arm being ripped off at the airport.
Yeah, robots. It's going to happen.
#robots.
Yeah,
So,
it's going to happen.
yeah, that's about it from the Olympics stuff. I'm going to keep an eye on it because as the Euros come to a close, I think...
Hey, what about... let's talk about Miss Hubbard. I want to talk
Laurel Hubbard. Yes. Oh, Laurel.
By the way, I just want to say, James, because he went to AFTA and St. Stidians doesn't teach people this, had no idea who old Mother Hubbard was. But anyway, let's talk about Laurel Hubbard. I just want to tell people out there what happens in my life, you know?
So, Laurel Hubbard is a New Zealand weightlifter. And she's poised to make history, as well as headlines.
Yeah.
She has been granted permission, and I don't like saying that. She's been granted permission to compete at the Olympics. Oh, James, why is that a big deal? Why is that a news article? Is probably what you're thinking, right?
Yeah, no, people weightlift everywhere.
I will tell you exactly why. That's because Laurel Hubbard is, in fact, transgender.
Mm-hmm.
So this is obviously a big thing, it being Pride Month and it being... I've done a lot of reading about it to sort of have my own point of view about it.
Mm-hmm.
There was an article written where a guy goes into sort of detail about is inclusivity compromising on like quality, if that makes sense.
Sure.
So are we just saying, oh, because we're in an inclusive society, you're going to go with us to the Olympics?
You know where I think people get confused, and it is actually a really boring sort of philosophical sort of idiosyncrasy.
Yeah.
Inclusivity is not infinite, because by that nature you're not being inclusive. There's nothing to exclude someone from. So being inclusive has to have clear rules. In fact, if you want to be really inclusive, the rules must get clearer and clearer and clearer and clearer in order to be inclusive. Otherwise it doesn't work. Like, there's a reason why people want to live in Australia, right? Is the rules are clear, right? And we will include you if you are well qualified. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
Anyway, okay. Anyway, so go on, Miss Hubbard.
So that's the thing about it, right? That's the big sort of I guess you could call it like a moral dilemma almost.
What is the moral dilemma? What is it about Laura Hubbard that's making it a moral dilemma? You haven't told us yet.
So, well, it's exactly that. It's what we've just been saying. A lot of people have welcomed her inclusion.
But you haven't told us what the issue is yet, by the way. You still haven't said.
Well, it's been questioned by those who believe, and this is quoted from a different article from The Guardian.
Yeah. So what James isn't telling you, which is quite an important part of the story, is that it is a transgender athlete.
I did say that.
Oh, did you say that?
Yeah, I did the whole introduction, and I said, James, why is this a news story? Remember that thing?
You said she's got permission. You didn't say that it's a transgender athlete.
No, but I did say it.
Okay, well, anyway, transgender athlete. Okay.
I did say this.
Yeah.
Shows how much you listen. So in this article, it says, and I quote, "It has also been questioned by those who believe she has an unfair advantages in strength and power, having gone through male puberty before transitioning in 2012." So that's obviously where the sort of dilemma comes in. Is it fair? Is it unfair? Similar to the whole Caster Semenya thing.
No, not the same. Different. Caster was no, it's not the same at all. This was a male who actually went on to have male genetic advantages post puberty. Caster did not.
Yeah, but
it's not the same. So this was a man.
No.
Caster had both. So her hormonal advantage was half of what this athlete is. Because once you're a male, the testosterone advantage.
No, but what I'm talking about is there's still in both of them. There's the dilemma of is there an advantage or is there not?
Yeah.
And because of that, what's the right sort of decision to make here?
Listen, this one is tricky because if you want to hear, so somebody who is seen as the leading sports scientist, whatever that means, on Earth, Ross Tucker, you can go and listen to the Science of Sport podcast. Brilliant podcast and a brilliant mind. I mean, he consults with the NFL, Arsenal, the English Premier League, World Rugby. So you see the rules that are being changed right now in rugby in terms of the hit zones. Ross Tucker, had him on the show a couple of months ago, and we kind of spoke a little bit about this. Now he's fully on the side of it's very clear what the genetic advantages are. It is nonsense for cyclists and these types of sports, right? Especially sports like this. Now gymnastics, different thing, where you aren't imposing your will and just raw power isn't an advantage. He kind of had these examples. So Man, oh man, this one is going to be tricky. I'm on the side of I don't like it, just from a scientific point of view. I think it's we're headed to the wrong place. We are headed to the wrong place. But okay, I guess ultimately it would be interesting to hear how the female, because we saw how the Custer response was, and South Africans are pretty emotional about that. I'm interested to see what the female lifters feel about it. That's going to be saucy. That is going to be tasty when Laurel wins, inevitably, because she's probably 1.5 times stronger than any woman who's ever lifted anything in her life.
So, that being said, she is a, what did the article say? She is she's considered a contender for a medal, whether it's gold or silver or grey or pink or purple.
Yes.
Yeah, she's considered a contender for a medal in the women's super heavyweight 87 kilogram plus category.
Yeah, so I'm off the board. I just from I've got a very, very basic scientific understanding. I don't like it one bit. I do not like it. But we live in that time. Anything goes. So let the good times roll, I guess. Let the good times roll. Interesting story there about Ms. Hubbard. Her father started a little company called Hubbard Foods, monster company. Sold it to New Zealand's richest man. Interesting little fun fact there. And her father was the mayor of Auckland, I believe.
Wow.
Yeah, so she is. It's also like, hey, that whole LGBTI thing, and it's not like she's doing it low profile. Imagine their life as well.
Goodness gracious.
Yeah, spicy stuff.
Alrighty, let's jump into comments, shall we?
Let's do it. Let's finish off.
I'm going to pull up the YouTube. So I'm going to start from the bottom this time. Just change things up,
Sure, James. You're not smoking. You were smoking. You're not smoking. You weren't tasting things. You're tasting things now.
Dylan Dooley says, #robots.
Yeah, dude, they're going to take over. They're going to be ripping arms off.
They'll take your arm, dude.
Do not go to Japan if you don't like... Hey, big threat for white guys. Because the last time a whole lot of white people pitched up in Japan, Hiroshima happened. The robots know this. I'm just saying, I'm not racist. I'm just telling you that the last time white people pitched up en masse in Japan, bombs.
No, didn't we win a World Cup the last time that happened?
No, but there was some black guys in there. So
oh yeah,
that's what I'm saying. I'm saying the last time, like, just imagine like the American weightlifting team, just like white alpha big dudes. What are the robots gonna think?
In their stars and stripes, even, huh?
We remember this. We remember
your flag.
Yeah, like Australian, New Zealand. Because I mean, robots really can't do extremely sort of complex kind of thinking like that yet. But I mean, you've seen the deep fakes, how good those are getting.
Yeah.
I reckon the robots, no matter how good, are still that white guy. Lots of them. What does the data say? Because we programmed some data from the last 60 years. Oh my God, last time, airplanes. What happens if there's an overhead like helicopter doing footage?
All the robots just like their eyes go red.
Dude, white guy
fly into the sky.
Noise in the sky. Last time, what happened?
A lot of people died.
Bang bang, and then the robots go wild.
Yeah,
and it's a blood field.
Every Olympian on the planet is killed. All of them.
Just the white guys. And the white women, fine.
Oh, so like Laurel Hubbard and all of them are...
Oh, no. Women.
They're vibing.
Yeah. Oh, Laurel Hubbard. Yeah. White women, cool. No worries.
Vibing.
No. Robots are actually probably giving them a burger. Like, are you? It's the men. Just every white guy eliminated in the name of Japan. It's going to happen.
Dill says, person entering into the podcast with no context. I'm not racist, but #robots.
What else we got?
Dill's not racist, but #robots.
Yeah.
Umbelelo says, wow, it's the first time I actually see you. Been listening for 3 months, and I'm loving the show, guys.
Good stuff.
Loving the show.
That's great stuff. Glad you're enjoying it.
Henry,
and great name, by the way.
Well, agreed, definitely. Henry says, do you guys think the Olympics would be a watered down affair with regards to athlete performance because of all the lockdowns? Will we see less world records broken?
It's an interesting one, Henry. I mean, some of the sports scientists in the world say we shouldn't believe any of the records that are currently being broken because the doping has become so sophisticated, and VADA and the IOC are a bunch of, I'm not going to use the words I've heard from certain scientists. So there's an argument right now that no world record should be actually accepted because within COVID and because you couldn't test as often, athletes have actually been doping more. We've seen the 5,000 meter women's record. So athletics, a field which I work in quite a lot. There's a lot of conversation at the moment about that whole thing. That 5,000 meter women's world record fell, and everybody, essentially all of the respected voices, said this is awful. There has to, I mean, within the same race, I believe 10 of the fastest times that have ever been run were run in the same race. People are saying through COVID, the doping's only gotten worse. So personally, I think just because I know I'm not a romantic about mankind, you're always going to get 10% of people that are cheating, lying, stealing, because most people want to do the right thing. And that's not because people are special. It's just because I think it's deeply encoded in us to survive. And one of our evolutionary things is that get on with people, be a part of something to survive. So forget about being good to other people. It's not an altruistic thing. It's just, it's good for me to be good. Most people are good. You're always going to get maybe a little more, let's say 20-25% of society that are just a bunch of dickheads, right? And cheating is happening. Like, I'm not one of these people, like, it's pure. So to answer your question, personally, I would say no. I think it's not watered down. I think, especially, all of us have been cooped up, right? The Olympics is one of the few things where we, even if it's, I don't know, a Colombian backstroke swimmer who wins, we're all like, man, that's awesome. Like, no, you know what I mean? It's one of the few things that doesn't divide us, because most of our lives is what? Politics, religion, and what? We're at work competing against other people. So I think it couldn't be a better time to have the Olympics, to bring, to like, just have a vibe of superhumans for all of us to go, yo, I cannot believe he lifted that. Geez, did you see the rowing team, I don't know, from Bahrain? They won. Did you see it? Like, or you know what? The Bahrain team were winning, or they made it there, and they had to pay for it themselves, or whatever. You know what I mean? It's like it's one of the rare times in the world where the whole, maybe not everybody watches the Olympics, but most of the world that is sort of pop culture facing is just like, holy smokes. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's one of the rare times as well, where, because we make fun of people that lose, but it's one of the rare times. Like, if a guy from Namibia is swimming and he's like getting lapped, you see people clapping for that. Usually we're like, laughing, but people are loving that. It'll go viral, you know? So I if anything, I think this is the perfect time for the Olympics for us all. That's just my opinion. Because I think winning and losing will matter less and less in these Olympics. It's just like, hey, we're together. That's awesome. You know, because for so long, I still have to wear a mask to the shops, and I still can't visit my grandmother if you know what I mean? All of these things. So I think it's a great time to have an incredible time for the Olympics. And we will have Olympic content, by the way. So just look out for that.
Henry says, would love to see the doping Olympics Gareth always talks about, to see what's really possible.
Yeah, just let them at it, dude. They should have two different Olympics.
Yes.
Yeah, the Royd Olympics and the Olympics, yeah. Very funny.
Henry also says, don't worry too much, James. Mbalelo has a history with older women, loves the mums. I'm not going to ask questions. I want to move on as swiftly as possible. I don't want to dwell on this. Makes me uncomfortable.
I grew up in an estate. I don't know what you want.
I'm moving on.
If you live in an estate, you know what those old mummies are up to. I'm just saying.
Rickers says, oh, now all of a sudden the people is important for James. Guys, I'm a man of the people. Right?
Yeah, that's a good point. Who said that?
Rickers.
Yeah, like, James, you see, the problem with you is you're trying to pander to the people and you're not being yourself. So you keep...
I'm always myself. What do you mean?
No, well, like, I'm with Rickers. Sometimes the people are important to you, sometimes they're not. You know, you're not very clear on your position. Like, sometimes you love your mom, sometimes you don't think she deserves a life of comfort. Like, you're all over the place. So, was it Rickers, did you say?
Yeah.
Oh, man. Shout out. Rickers always drops damn bombs, huh?
Thanks, Rickers.
No, shout out to Rickers, dude.
Andrew Harrison says, I'm just fascinated that James is dating Wendy from the WhatsApp. Oh, we went through that one.
Yeah.
Rickers also says, and now I'm going to read all of your comments begrudgingly because look at the position you've put me in. Rickers says that the Netherlands versus Brazil 2010 quarterfinal in PE was the best atmosphere he has ever experienced.
That's awesome.
When the Oranje came from behind to win that game.
Yeah, Greg. Yeah. Jeez. Throwback. Hashtag Throwback Wednesday. No, it doesn't really work.
No, it's tomorrow. Tomorrow's Thursday. Tomorrow's Throwback Thursday.
Throwback Thursday.
Yeah.
Okay.
Old man. Zabet says, we've lost the ability to laugh at ourselves. Even comedians have to tread carefully, which is why you don't see many shows now because of COVID. Besides COVID. And then in brackets says, which Mbalelo will know all about.
As a survivor, of course, yes.
Absolutely.
It is a thing, dude. It is a thing. And I guess, you know, I'm not, again, I keep saying I'm not a natural empath, but as we are entering these spaces where more and more people are moving into the social space and I'm a gay NFL player, so maybe to him it's a big thing. And you got to make space for, oh my God, for so long a whole community felt like it was holding it in. I mean, we remember World Cup 95, what that was like for a country. Subjectively speaking, just the sight of Nelson Mandela and Francois Pienaar together, it was just like the whole country exhaled, if only for a moment. Did it solve all the problems? No, but sometimes just that feeling, you know. So I'm with you. I see. I lean towards that. Like, people are too precious, but there's different personality types. People are more sensitive to things. I've had a pretty sweet life, you know. So it's hard for me to go just harden up, which is how I live my life, you know. Which is why I'm not for everyone. And I've always said, people like me should stay out of power because I'm not an empath. I shouldn't be in political power. I can be in business, but not in political power because I'm not, you know, that's a tough one. I hear you, and I think people need to laugh at themselves more. But in order to enjoy anything, you kind of need to be have an upper hand or feel enfranchised in something. And maybe, you know, the gay thing in football is gay people don't feel enfranchised holistically, and thus everything they do is going to be sensitive because they don't feel welcome, as in society. You know, so it's a tough one. I agree. I think we need to laugh at ourselves more across the board, and everyone is hilarious, by the way. Like this idea that if you're a woman of color, we can't make fun of you because, no, like if you're human and you want human rights and you want to be a part of this little thing we do, everything about you is hilarious, not because you're a black woman, but because you're human. You're going to do ridiculous things. Like if you are in Estonia or Botswana, you are going to do ridiculous things, and we should laugh at that, I think. But again, I'm just thinking, I've had a pretty sweet life. Things can be funny, you know? So
hashtag not robots.
Yeah, I'm all about the robots. Just rip people's arms off.
Lastly, Kutles.
To be clear, I do agree with that, by the way, with everything that was said there.
What, ripping people's arms off?
What, the robots?
Yeah.
Well, the robots will do robot things. In their defense,
I just brought up the robot thing because we're not robots. Like you said, we do ridiculous things.
Yeah. No, but hey, robots are gonna... Yeah. No, fair enough.
Lastly, Kutles says, I agree with Paulo. I thought Bruno not bringing enough big games at Man United was because he was not around other big players. But it could be a mental thing or burnout.
Listen, what it should be, if you're a Man United fan, something else should worry you, right? Is that Bruno can't always be on. And that should worry you, because no one else at United's been on for 5 years. No one else. There is not a single player who's been close to Bruno's level. And don't think this year was an anomaly. That should worry you, that this is possible with Bruno over the next 6 months. And then what? Because the Pogba thing is not enough. How do I know that? I've seen 6 years of it, right? Clearly. I saw Villarreal. You know, I've seen the big moments. What do you do when Bruno's not on? That would worry me as a United fan more than, okay, Bruno, big games or whatever. Is Bruno over 38 games, you're going to get 30 great games, right? He's been off for 8 games. Fine. That's fair, I'd say. But then what about those 8 games when he's off? Because when you're not on for those 8 games, you really need Pogba or someone to be on. That's what Man City do. When Murray's not on, Foden's on. When Foden's not on, Gabriel Jesus is on. If not him, Kyle Walker's on. If not him, Cancelo. If not him, Diaz. If not him, the keeper's giving assists.
Maybe Bruno's also a robot.
No, because he wouldn't have it down. He wouldn't have had these 3 two terrible games. Robots don't make mistakes, people do.
No, but they're making it more convincing, right? So they're like, oh, we need to have a Bruno that's not quite up to par that we can play against, like,
Oh, I see what you're saying.
you know.
Otherwise, it's not believable.
Exactly.
Because as human beings, we know we are implicitly
Exactly. And
imperfect.
they
yeah.
believe that if, Messi and Ronaldo is a lot to give us, who are robots,
Yeah.
obviously.
Yeah.
If they were to give us another robot that we were aware of, the whole simulation would just shatter.
No, it's true. Yeah. No, that's... It's not impossible. Because what Bruno did for United was robot things.
Exactly. Just many penalties, though.
Who knew that robots would be such a big part of a sports show today?
Well, hashtag robots.
Yeah, they'll get you, dude. Honestly, if you are white and male and going to the Olympics, don't gather in crowds of more than 30.
What if I'm only just white and male? What does that mean? And not going to.
Who cares? If you're not a white male in the Olympics, why do I care about you? What are you doing? What's the upside for me? So what? You're just another douchebag.
Oh.
Yeah, white male, and the Olympics part is really important because we only care about people, champions. I don't care about some guy with a gut at Pick and Pay. Why do I care about him?
Why does he have to have a gut?
Because most people have a gut.
Not most people.
80% of South Africa is obese. Numbers came out yesterday.
That's a lie.
Go and look it up.
That's a lie.
Google it right now, James, while we're on.
What do I Google? Obesity
rate
or...
in South Africa. 80% were the numbers I read yesterday. That's 8 out of 10 people. By the way.
I just find it convenient that the numbers came out yesterday.
Oh, well. No, the numbers may not have come out yesterday, but I read yesterday.
Where does South Africa rank in obesity?
I read 80% yesterday.
Oh, there's lots of numbers here, man.
It's lots. Oh, you went to AFTA. You couldn't even read numbers to get into university. Forget about actually understanding them, huh?
Look, numbers aren't my strength.
No, they're not. They're not. It's good that you went to AFTA. All right, Jimbo. Good stuff. Don't get obese, pal.
I'm not planning on doing that.
Yeah.
I'm busy.
So just so you know, to me, you're just a white guy because you're not going to the Olympics. You know what I mean?
Just a white guy with a gut, huh?
Do you have a gut? I haven't really looked at your midsection. How are you feeling about your current midsection?
I look about...
Are you carrying a few extra pounds, would you say?
I could be a couple weeks pregnant.
Tubs, eh? Deal with that, James.
I also found out yesterday that smoking actually makes you, when you quit smoking, you actually pick up weight.
Oh, really?
And that's made me really upset.
Oh, my word. You're retaining water like a pregnant woman. And you're walking every day. Is James actually a woman dressed as a man? These are the things you have to wonder.
My feet swollen.
Oh, my word, James. So what? You're retaining weight? Oh, my gosh. James is retaining water like a pregnant woman.
I prefer not to speak on my...
Okay, let's look at it. Your weight is on its way up.
Yeah.
You are picking up weight.
That's two. You've just said two of the same things.
And you are picking up weight. And you've got a gut.
That's like 5 of the same things.
So wait, your weight's on its way up, and you've got a gut. 1 + 1 is 2, dude. You are pregnant. Oh my God! Congratulations.
Thank you. Thanks.
Oh
Thanks.
my word! Have a good day, babe. Jimbo.
Have a good one, babes.
James, good stuff today, pal.
Thank you.
Look after yourself. Stay well. Be well. Get rid of the gut.
I'm trying.
I'm
trying.
Oh my goodness, the hormones of being pregnant. All right, let's end it on that. James is pregnant, and it's tough for everyone. It's tough for everyone. All right, the MKT Show. This is Cliff Central Sport, the MKT Show. Today has been the 23rd of June. It's been awesome. By the way, like, share, subscribe. Please, if you're on YouTube, click like before you leave us. Otherwise, subscribe to the channel. If you aren't subscribed and you're new here already, please subscribe on the YouTube channel. Otherwise, join us tomorrow, 12 o'clock. We'll be back again doing our thing, sort of freewheeling into the weekend. My name is MKT. This is the MKT Show. For now, ladies and gentlemen, we are the hell out of here.